Auburn and Vanderbilt coming your way. Dave Rowe will join me in just a couple of minutes for today's contest. But it's that time of the show where I like to kind of spin around the league and get you caught up on really some things that maybe you haven't thought about. And certainly coming into this season, quarterbacks were the hot topic around the Southeastern Conference. But I got to tell you, after 2 weeks, I have been impressed with some of the guys who carry the football. First of all, there's Cedric Cobbs at Arkansas. He seems to be back after he went for a $145 in the opener, including this 58-yard touchdown run. Also, how about Cedric Houston at Tennessee? He has gone for back-to-back games of 160 yards or more for the Vols. They have racked up 490 yards on the ground as a team. And we had a chance to see the future at running back for Florida against Miami. Deshaun Wynn ran for 100 yards against that vaunted Kane defense, including a 65-yard touchdown run. And last week, we saw firsthand Dacus Turman, who went for 123 yards and a touchdown. Remember, this young man broke Herschel Walker's Georgia high school single-season rushing record just a few years ago. He looks like he could be a real contender for the SEC rushing title. Those are just a couple of guys that had big games last weekend, but there are some other players I think to keep an eye on this year. Shawn Williams might be my favorite running back in the Southeastern Conference. Here's a guy that can do it all, and he's only 5'11", about 195 pounds. He can carry it, he can catch it, and he can do a lot on special teams. And another guy to keep an eye on is Joseph Adai at LSU. LSU had a big game in their opener against Arizona, and Joseph Adai was a big part of that. So, keep an eye on the running backs the rest of this SEC football season. And we'll have a chance to see how that Auburn running game, well, see if it can improve. When we come back, it's more Cooper Tires SEC Football Today after this.
Cooper Tires SEC Football Today has been brought to you by Cooper Tires. Proud to be the official tire of the Southeastern Conference. Cooper Tires. Don't give up a thing.
And welcome back to the campus of Vanderbilt University here in Nashville, Tennessee, as we get set for what we believe will be a great afternoon of football. Coming up next, our broadcast of the battle here between Auburn and Vanderbilt. 2 weeks ago, it was Vanderbilt who played valiantly against Ole Miss, and were it not for a 51 and a 54-yard field goal, they might have very well come away with a victory. Auburn, it has been a struggle for the Tigers. They opened up shutout at home, 23-0 at the hands of USC, and then last week a loss to Georgia Tech. So many preseason expectations for the Tigers, and they're still looking for their first touchdown here in 2003. Chancellor Gordon Gee and head coach Bobby Johnson as the Commodores get set to take on the Tigers of Auburn. The guys in the truck continue to tell me that it's sunny and 74. I guess that's because it's always a beautiful day when you're here in the Southeastern Conference. We should have a good one here this afternoon as Auburn gets set to take on Vanderbilt. Our guys up in the booth, Dave Neal and Dave Rowe, are standing by to bring you all the action. Coming up next here on Jefferson Pilot Sports.
The following is an exclusive presentation of Jefferson Pilot Sports, a division of Jefferson Pilot Financial.
That man, Tommy Tuberville, has a lot of questions to answer today. His Auburn Tigers are 0-2. Bobby Johnson likes the way his Commodores are playing, and it's next. A preseason top 10 ranking. Two of the best running backs in the conference. A dynamic duo of hard-hitting linebackers. That's why the Auburn Tigers came into the 2003 season with high hopes of their first SEC title since 1989. But something happened on the way to the celebration. The Tigers have lost their first two games and are wondering why their vaunted running attack hasn't gotten out of gear yet. Today, Auburn heads into Music City to take on Vanderbilt. The Commodores have been sailing along under the radar, but are starting to turn some heads with some big play sophomores on both sides of the ball. Vanderbilt tries to keep the Tigers on their slide, while Auburn hopes to get their motors running on the SEC football game of the week. It is week 3 of the SEC football season, and the Auburn Tigers and the Vanderbilt Commodores getting set to come your way on our Jefferson Pilot SEC Game of the Week. And for the Auburn Tigers, it's their SEC opening game, and they really need something to jumpstart their season. They are 0-2. Vandy comes in 1-1. Who would have thought that Vandy would have a better record coming into this game than Auburn? But that is the situation. There are a lot of question marks around Auburn. Perhaps the biggest is at running back. Ronnie Brown has been held in check after he replaced Carnell Cadillac Williams last year and went over 1,000 yards. And we all know what Cadillac is about, picking up big chunks of yardage, but he too has been kept quiet through 2 football games. A man who's never quiet joins me once again, Dave Rowe. And Dave, what in the world is going on at Auburn?
Oh, everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for Auburn so far. They haven't been able to get their running game going. They just have been sputtering. Every play, they have a breakdown somewhere.
Well, last year against this Vanderbilt team, Cadillac Williams had one of his best games, 170 yards. How was he able to create so much space?
Well, he was able to create space with the offensive line blowing him out. This play is typical. Scrape, get to the back, and get him into the secondary. Right there, he has to beat one person. Now he's out in the secondary. He's got speed. He's got maneuverability. He can make people miss. That's the Cadillac that they need this year.
Well, we'll see if they can get that cranked up. Only 7 first downs in 2 games for Auburn. A team that hasn't had trouble moving the chains is Vanderbilt, believe it or not. Almost 600 yards last week. Jay Cutler, their sophomore quarterback, Dave, he has been awesome so far.
Oh, he certainly has. Jay Cutler may be the most improved player on this team. He's just a sophomore, but he makes great decisions. He's got maturity both physically and mentally. And because he's recognized as a much better passer, it really opens up the running game, especially on that down the line that he runs that option play, Dave.
Well, we will see quite a bit of that option today, and we will see it probably early because Vanderbilt wins the toss, and they elected to take the football first. See, they gives you an indication of how Bobby Johnson feels about his offense. And kicking off for the Auburn Tigers, Phillip Yost. Back deep to receive is Quane Doster, and he will take a knee. Let's send it down to Buzz on the sidelines. Buzz?
Dave, last week for this Vanderbilt club, an offensive explosion. 41 first-half points, the most they've scored in a game since 1955. They gained 539 yards, allowed just 93. Norval McKenzie, 102 yards and a TD. 12 different Commodores ran the ball. Jay Cutler ran and passed for a touchdown. Vandy wins 51-7. Biggest thing besides the win, Bobby Johnson plays 64 guys and develops some depth coming into this matchup with Auburn, Dave.
Yeah, depth is something Vanderbilt has lacked over the years, but maybe starting to get some of that now in 2003. But a very young team. Jay Cutler on 1st and 10. Fires, nearly picked off. Dontarius Thomas had his hands on it. Carlos Dansby in there as well. And here's our Chevy starting lineups for the Vanderbilt Commodores. Eric Davis. He is a big play receiver. We saw him in week 1 make some big catches for Jay Cutler and this Commodore team. Up front, Kennan Arkin, 16 career starts. The center, Stephen Brent, will have his hands full today. We'll let Dave explain why a little bit later. And, of course, the quarterback is Jay Cutler, the 220-pound sophomore out of Santa Claus, Indiana. Has completed 59% of his passes this year. Here's the handoff to Quane Doster, the sophomore tailback out of Tampa, Florida. Stuffed at the line of scrimmage by Dontarius Thomas. Here's the Chevy defense for the Auburn Tigers. Spencer Johnson. He, along with DeMarco McNeil, a couple of real veterans up front. Carlos Dansby and Dontarius Thomas, 2 of the bigger name linebackers in all of college football. And Junior Rosegreen has been, according to the coaches, has been awesome. He has done everything they have asked him to do. And there is Tommy Tuberville, now in his 5th year at the helm of the Auburn program, 30-21. Brandon Smith to the 25. He'll be 5 yards shy of the first down, and Vanderbilt will have to punt it away. And a good defensive stand by the Auburn defense, and that'll get the Auburn faithful on their feet early on.
It certainly will. That's exactly what you want to do. When you're the team that doesn't have the momentum, you come out, you shut them down, get them 3 and out, punt the football, and now get it back to your offense.
Captain Hieronymus averaging just shy of 40 yards per punt. End-over-end kick. Trey Smith back to return it, lets it bounce, and it will stop at the 35, and that's where Auburn will take over, a 40-yard punt. And here's the Auburn offensive lineup presented by Chevy. Courtney Taylor has been just unbelievable in the first 2 games. A total of 12 catches for that young man. Up front, these guys have been knocked around a little bit. They'll need a big game today to help that running game get going. Defensively, Javon Hay, Ralph McKenzie bothered by a sprained ankle at right tackle, number 95, and the linebackers are pretty good. Osimichi, Washington, and Hurley Harrison. Dominic Morris had his first career interception last weekend. Lorenzo Parker gets the start for the second consecutive game at the other quarterback for Vanderbilt. And a traditional I. Campbell to throw. Pass is incomplete, intended for Ben Obamanu. Dominic Morris on the coverage. Dave, Jason Campbell has been beat up, tossed around, cut up, you name it. He has really taken a beating with 13 sacks today. How important is it for him to get some confidence?
Oh, it's huge because he sees flashes. When he's back in the pocket has been collapsing around him. When he starts to step up, he takes his eyes off downfield, and Dave, then he's just a running back. So he really needs to stand back there, complete 2 or 3, maybe short to medium passes to get a little bit of momentum.
Play action again. Here's pressure. Campbell steps up, throws deep down the field. Looking for Courtney Taylor. And a flag. A late flag comes flying in. And Taylor, it appeared, Dave, he might have been the guy who pushed off.
Well, actually, Taylor looked like he kind of slowed down on the play. When he got to about the 15, maybe the 20-yard line, he slowed down a little bit.
Our referee today, Mr. Doyle Jackson, good friend of ours here, Jefferson Pilot.
Yeah, that's what they're going to call offensive interference. When he got to about the 20-yard line, it was really interesting to watch his pattern. As he comes off the line, now this is good movement by, you see Campbell step up in the pocket. Now, square those shoulders and throw it. Good. Now, right in here, he started to slow down. Now, watch that left hand, that right hand. See if he doesn't push off a little bit. See, right in there, you can't push off like that. He's pushing off Morris. That's the call.
Well, that'll move Auburn back.
Foul is pass interference by the offense. Penalty is 15 yards from the previous spot with a repeat of the second down.
That'll bring up a second down and 25. This has been a problem for Auburn.
Well, every time they have a series, when I was watching tape last week, they'd have a fumble, they'd have a sack, they'd have a missed assignment, just every series. Now you really put the pressure on Jason Campbell. He's back there. Now, if you're Vanderbilt, come with pressure.
5 wide receivers, 3 to the near side, 2 to the top, and movement up front. Troy Reddick, the left guard.
Good night. You talk about going the wrong way. You know, Dave, when I was down on the sideline, I actually thought they might have been too tight.
That was a dead ball. False start by the offense. Penalty is 5 yards from the previous spot, followed by a repeat of the second down.
There's Hugh Nall, the offensive coordinator, offensive line coach. It's been a tough week for Hugh. And he said he has put more time in with his coaches and players this week. As you look at the Auburn coaching staff up in their coach's booth, it's been a real struggle the past 5-6 days. Here comes some pressure. Campbell hit as he throws. Pass is dropped. That was Courtney Taylor. Pressure came from Moses Osimichi from his outside linebacker spot.
Yeah, you can watch Campbell on this play. Watch his motion. He's got to step up. He can see the pressure right there. See, he's getting hit on the backside of the leg. Osimichi, he just gets great pressure. It's going to come from outside here and get pressure on the quarterback. Watch this. Nobody touches him. You can't take a tackle and expect him to come off there. Disrupts the whole thing. Then on top of that, they drop the football.
3rd and 30. And they will run it. And get about 5. It was Ronnie Brown. Chris Booker made the stop, and once again, negative yardage for the Auburn offense.
Well, as I said, they keep on just doing something stupid and just getting themselves into a problem. Now, for Vanderbilt, they need to capitalize in this situation. They've got them backed up. They should get ball midfield. They need to put pressure on Auburn early.
Cody Bliss to punt for Auburn. It's a good kick. Got the wind at his back. Hatcher takes it at the 32. Ronald Hatcher Nifty moves, takes it out over the 45, close to midfield. A 49-yard punt, a 12-yard return. Auburn has the ball again, but Tommy Tuberville and the Auburn Tigers searching for some spark. Back after this.
SEC football is being brought to you by Advance Auto Parts, by Sitco, by Aaron Sales and Leasing, and by Chick-fil-A.
Beautiful day in Nashville, Tennessee. Auburn and Vanderbilt scoreless. The Commodores getting set for their second possession of the game. At about the 47-yard line, a couple of tight ends, Nick Getter, Curtis Brancho. Dostert, a single setback behind Jay Cutler. Here's Dostert trying to find room. Maybe got a yard on the play. That'll bring up second down. Dostert, a guy that had a coming out party a year ago as a freshman when he set the Vanderbilt single-season freshman rushing record just shy of 800 yards, but fumbled twice near the goal line last week against Tennessee Chattanooga in Vanderbilt's big win. There's Ted Kane, the offensive coordinator. Cutler, the option. The pitch to Dostert. Look at the swarming Auburn defense. Smothered Quanae Dostert.
But you know what? I was watching Dostert that time, and I was watching Dansby. Dostert comes to the outside. Watch this little movement along here. Just run along. Just be patient. Just be patient. Take it. Now watch him make people miss. That's a great move. I know he only gets a couple yards. Now watch Dansby. He's the greatest linebacker that they have. Man, look at him move along here. Look at him take the fake. Oh, man. He got nothing.
That's one of those break your ankle moves.
Yeah.
Well, it's third down and 8. Shotgun for Jay Cutler. Cutler hit from behind. Ball is loose. They'll call it incomplete. And Carlos Dansby just got revenge on Quanae Dostert. He went right over Quanae to put the hit on Cutler.
Boy, he went over him and through him. That's what you want from big linebackers. Watch number 11 come in here. Left of your screen. Look at him just run over top of him. That's an outstanding
You may
block.
break my ankles, but I'm going to break your jaw, right?
Well, he used his weight to his advantage.
So Vanderbilt will have to punt again. Aptin Aronimus will stand at his 36-yard line. Trey Smith back to return. Trey averaging about 9.5 yards per return. And Vanderbilt will have to take a timeout. They only had 10 on the field. So with that timeout, we will step aside as well. We'll return to Nashville after a word from your local stations. SEC football is brought to you in part by Chevy Trucks. So Vanderbilt has 11 on the field, and they'll punt it away. Trey Smith stands at the 15. Another end-over-end kick. Trey will let this bounce, and Auburn will be backed up at the 5. A 45-yard punt. They haven't been pretty, but they have been effective.
They've gotten a roll, that's for sure. That looked like about a 9-iron going off to the side there. That was a great kick.
Yeah, I think Tommy Tuberville would love to have the ball at the 45, 50-yard line. Give him some options. You're kind of limited back here at the 5.
Yeah, and especially with a team that sputtered through the first series, Dave.
They ran it once, threw it twice. Gained a total of 5 yards on that first drive.
And we're talking about the number one, we thought was the number 1 rushing combo in college football.
Hard running on the inside by Cadillac Williams. They'll get about 6 on the play.
Good block that time. Cooper Wallace, the tight end, coming off. Got a good block and a nice drive.
Cadillac averaging 3.1 per carry. Ronnie Brown averaging about 3.5 yards per carry. But in 2 games versus Vanderbilt, Carnell has run for 229 yards on 26 carries. That's about an 8-yard average. Around the right side, nothing happening. Picked up a yard, maybe 2. Run out of bounds by Jovan Hay and safety Kelechi Ohanije. That was the old-fashioned power sweep.
A lot of people out in front of the play and a lot of people caught up in it. You've got to come off and get that little bit of separation. Noll knows all about running the football. The offensive coordinator, he'll tell you, you got to blow them off the line of scrimmage. That's where it all starts. You got to control the man across from you.
2 tight ends on 3rd down and 2. And a big hit. Otis Washington. Moses Osimiji. Libner Taluska are all in there.
Well, they get great penetration. There's Moses coming in there. And look at here. You'll see Washington coming to backside number 52. I mean, they just got the point of attack. What is happening is that Auburn is running the football, and they're not even getting to the hole, Dave, before they're having to dodge people. There's so much penetration into their backfield on the running game that they're just having to avoid.
Bliss will punt again. Ronald Hatcher had a nice return on his first punt return. Stands at the 50. Flags are down. It is another good kick. This sends Hatcher. This may stop at the 6-yard line. But flags are down. If that stands, it's an 80-yard punt.
Well, right now, every Auburn player is holding their breath saying, did we have enough on the line of scrimmage? No. Wow.
Man, when it goes bad, it goes.
Oh, it does. I'm serious. When I was watching, and I'm talking there, that's an excellent coaching staff. Tommy Tuberville's got an excellent coaching staff. He's got great talent. But it's almost like winning and losing are very similar in that when things are going right, oh, you can't do anything wrong. When they're going wrong, you can't do anything right. The essence of this penalty is going to be where are they going to get the football? They were going to get it, what, on the 6?
6 men on the line of scrimmage. Penalty is 5 yards from the previous spot, followed by a repeat of the 4th down.
All right, 6 men on the line of scrimmage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's the 6th man? Way on the outside, maybe, but you got to have him up on the line of scrimmage.
The guy on the outside has got to be aware of where he's standing. And one of the guys on the outside looked like Trey Smith out there.
Off the line of scrimmage, that killed him.
Another good kick by Bliss. Hatcher at the 33. Flag down, block in the back. But a good punt from Cody Bliss, a 59-yarder and a 15-yard return, but the return will be nullified as there is a meeting at about the 44-yard line, 47-yard line, trying to figure out exactly what happened.
Well, even with the penalty, they're going to get much better field position.
You just saw Bobby Johnson say, "Don't be stupid."
Yeah, I know. He can't stand that. Block in the back. I think there it is, right there. That's the block in the back. And again, you see him point right there. It's Ben Koger who got illegally blocked in the back.
Foul is an illegal block in the back by the returning team during the return. Penalty is 10 yards from the spot of the foul, followed by a 1st down.
Well, Jay Cutler now comes back on the field for the 3rd time today, and he's had some growing pains last season, but head coach says it's starting to pay off for him.
Jay is getting to the point where he really understands what we're trying to accomplish in the offense, and he can anticipate things a whole lot better and even anticipate what plays we're going to run. So I think he's matured a great deal, and that's the biggest thing. The physical talent has always been there, but I think his maturity is the big plus this year.
And Jay Cutler really has improved, Dave. When we were here in week one, it was really his throwing ability, I think, that impressed us the most. Doesn't even look like the same quarterback in the pocket.
No, very confident back there, very mature just for a sophomore. And as we were talking earlier, that really complements that running ability. When he can pass the football and be a threat, and then he comes down the line on that option, he really puts pressure on a defense.
Both teams have 13 total yards in this one. Here's Cutler. Here's Doster trying to turn the corner. Good play on that cornerback spot by Carlos Rogers, number 14. Didn't bite, made a big hit. Doster close to the first down. He'll be about 1.5 yards shy. Interesting play, though.
It was interesting because Cutler came down the line and he held the ball and actually almost tripped. Last second, he flips that ball out. It almost looks like it's a pass. It's a forward lateral, but it's not forward in the fact that it's in front of the line of scrimmage. It's forward off of his hand.
Couple of wideouts, I formation on 3rd down and 1.5 yards, maybe 2. Here's the option again. Doster. Fumbled football. The linesman says he was down. But strange, Dave, he threw his beanbag down there, which is an indication that it was a fumble.
Yeah, let's watch the tail end of this. Doster put the ball on the ground. He trips in the turf now. When he gets here, watch the ball. Right in. Boy, that is close. Will Herring is the one that was in there on the tackle, number 35. Is his knee down? Let's see it. Right in. Yeah, I think his knee is down, but it's close. And you're right. The beanbag went in.
Vanderbilt may have dodged one there. Hieronymus to punt again. Another end-over-end kick. Trey Smith will have a chance to return it. Smith, flag down. He takes it to the 38. But a very sloppy game here in the opening quarter from Nashville. 37-yard punt, a 13-yard return.
And Dave, when I talk about being too tight, you know, right now, Auburn, I mean, their dreams of a national championship are over. They need to concentrate on the SEC. You see the hand in the back by Doyle Johnson calling it. But everybody's pressing, trying to do a little bit something extra. Tommy Tuberville said, hey, we just need to go out, relax, enjoy ourselves, play our game. They've got talent.
Foul is an illegal block in the back by the returning team during the return. Penalty is 10 yards from the spot of the foul, followed by a first down.
The 4th penalty for 35 yards against Auburn. We'll be back after this. Scoreless. Auburn and Vanderbilt, our SEC game of the week. 7:25 to go in the first quarter from Nashville. Both teams have gone 3 and out on all their possessions to this point. Mix, the tight end, in motion. Another play action. Campbell to throw. Here's Mix. Mix over the 40 to the 47-yard line. A gain of 24 and a first down for the Auburn Tigers. Only their 8th of the season.
And what it is, it's a little screen pass. You see him coming out there. Linemen are trying to get out there, but what he does is he comes off the line of scrimmage, getting separation. But this is the kind of play I would look for Auburn to run. It's something where the quarterback's not in the threat of being sacked. He's got a safe pass. He can get rid of it quickly.
Parnell Williams into Vanderbilt territory. Gets about 6 on the play. Javon Hay makes the tackle for the Commodores. Well, the rushing has been the story so far this year, without a doubt. First Southern Cal, 43 yards. First Georgia Tech, 40 yards at per carry average of 1.1. And last year, Dave, 203 yards a game, and they averaged 2.5 rushing touchdowns a game. I mean, those numbers with basically the same team.
Exactly. Today,
a bullet thrown by Campbell, caught by Devin Aroma-Shadu.
and Dave, I can tell you the last couple passes, I think Jason Campbell has finally kind of relaxed a little bit. I think he's throwing a little bit better strikes. The ball looks like it's coming off his hand a little bit better, and he's going to get a little bit more confidence.
See Lorenzo Parker. He replace Bill Alford in the starting lineup last week against UTC. There's Bruce Fowler, the defensive coordinator for the Commodores. Came over with Bobby Johnson from Furman. There's Cadillac, a flag down. Ohana Jay on the tackle.
But if this is holding against Auburn.
Well, actually, they picked up the flag. How about our Aaron scoreboard? Arkansas over Texas by a touchdown. Ohio State on top of NC State. UNLV over Wisconsin. And Wake Forest. A surprise to this point in college football.
And Dave, you know, right there was a typical play that Auburn has been running in the running game, and it's exactly what goes wrong. You get a crush right in here. The point of attack is right there. See how he's having to cut? He's still 2 yards in the backfield. That's Carnell Williams. He's trying to make the cut in the backfield. Last year, he ran to the hole, and once he got to the hole, we showed a great example of it. He could do that little fake and get to the outside. What he has to do, he has to get to the hole by juking somebody and getting around him. It isn't going to work.
3rd down and 5. Here's Cadillac. And I think he picked up the first down inside the 30, and he does so. Otis Washington made the tackle, but not before Auburn picked up another first down.
Well, that's just a great run right there. What he does, he makes an adjustment again. See him right there, cut back inside. He's not running to the hole. That's just because he has such marvelous talent. That's why he made that first down.
Cadillac, 5'11", 205. 7th play of this drive. Cadillac again. And Otis Washington met him straight up at the line of scrimmage.
Boy, you talk about sticking him in the hole. That's what you call, that's what you want to hear. When you're a defensive lineman and you're down there playing, you love to hear that middle backer. You take on the blocks and have that middle backer step up there and just stick them. But again, running behind, you see him have to make the cut back inside. Then he's got to get his speed up. And when he turns around, Otis Washington, 52, just meets him right in the hole. Big down here.
Cadillac has carried the last 4 plays for Auburn. But Brandon Jacobs, number 27, the junior college transfer, in the football game and gets his first carry as an Auburn Tiger and gets a couple on the play. Jacobs, 6'4", 255. A lot of people have been waiting to see this young man play. They had a chance right here.
Yeah, but you see again, in the backfield, no place to go. He has to come across. And Otis Washington, he's just playing. Look at the big man. Slide, slide. You want your backer staying square. Get off a block. Get in there and make a tackle. I really like Otis Washington's play.
Now Ronnie Brown comes back in the football game. So we see that stable of running backs at work for Auburn. Campbell, little misdirection, and loses. Bill Alford from Brunswick, Georgia, the junior, trips up Campbell. It's the 14th sack against Auburn this year.
And Dave, this looks like an innocent play, but this is a designed running play, but Alford plays it so well. See, you fake right there, now you come outside. Look at Alford, get that hand up in there. He's got backside containment, plays it as well as you ever could do it. That's perfect. Look at him. I don't know what that sign is. That's putting on the belt. That's a good play.
Willem Yost lines up from 51. He nailed it from 60 yards in the pregame. And this one misses wide right. It had plenty of distance, but a flag down at the 41.
Did they run into the kicker? Oh, mercy. That might be 34, Sean Dixon, who did it.
Well, it was 4th and 15.
Wow.
So if it's running in, it'll be 5 yards, make it 4th and 10. They'll still have to kick it, but Yost definitely has the leg with the wind at his back.
Well, I never blocked kicks like that, but they always said aim in front of him. Don't aim at his leg.
Foul is a personal foul. Roughing the kicker.
Oh, wow.
Penalty is 15 yards from the previous spot, followed by an automatic first down.
Watch this. Again, you aim in front of him. Oh, he just runs right into him. He got off balance on the outside. We might be able to see that again. Watch, see, he gets nicked out here, but look, he just runs right straight in. Oh, you can't do that.
Yeah, that's a definite roughing the kicker. That'll be a first down and 10 now for the Auburn Tigers. Maybe that's the break they needed. Ronnie Brown powers his way inside the 15. Andrew Pace held on with Kelechi Ohanije to make the tackle.
And Dave, this is a perfect situation for Auburn. If you want to come out, you want to tell your team you're going to run the football, you get those big offensive linemen in the huddle, you say, okay, we're going to drive it in, just straight, one-on-one. We always say, as I always say, big man on big man, blow them out.
After the gain of 6, second down 4. Ronnie Brown at the 10, down to the 6-yard line. And that will be a first down for Auburn. Otis Washington on the stop.
Little misdirection here. It's a little stutter. See, he takes that little stutter step. It's almost like a draw. Now you have to wait for a hole. That's running to the hole. That's running into it. And Otis Washington, we talk a lot about him. Move here. If he doesn't make this tackle, he's going to go a long way.
First and goal from the 6. Auburn only their 3rd opportunity in the red zone this year. Ronnie Brown. And he loses 5. Moses Osimiji on the tackle, the sophomore from Nashville.
And Dave, he made a mistake on that play. He doesn't follow his fullback. Watch his fullback go right there. You see his fullback going to the outside. He doesn't get him. That's Brandon Johnson. You got to follow your fullback on that blocking scheme.
13th play of this drive that started at the 25. Auburn has yet to score a touchdown in 2003. They're knocking on the door. Williams back in the game, but Campbell will throw it. Looking, running. Out of bounds at the 5. Otis Washington chases him out of bounds. And that'll bring up a 3rd and goal.
This is an interesting play. What happened is Jason Campbell just zeroed in on Ben Omanu. Yeah, I'm all right. Obomanu, excuse me. But anyway, he just zeroed in on him. He never looked to the backside, and when he came out, he was double covered, had nowhere to go. He had to run the ball. Now you got to throw to the end zone. Give it one shot. See if you can maybe find that big tight end or one of that guy in slot motion coming back, but you got to throw in the end zone.
Play action to Cadillac. Campbell to throw. Pressure comes. He lofts it up out of bounds. Good coverage from the Vanderbilt defense. Early Harrison putting some pressure on Campbell. And that'll bring up 4th and goal. And Auburn will try to kick it again. This time they'll go with their short field goal kicker, John Vaughn, the freshman from nearby Brentwood, Tennessee, just about 20 minutes or so from Nashville. It will be a 23-yard attempt from the right hash.
That's a strong angle.
And he missed it right. And Vaughn looks like he comes up a little gimpy.
Boy, and nobody knows more than Tommy Tuberville. When you get that situation, you have got to kick it in. He never had a chance. It's a strong angle. The closer you get, the harder the angle is back. But see, the pipes are right back there. He has to kick it to. He just never brings it back inside. Again. I think that was a little bit acting. And look at Tommy Tuberville. That's not acting. Boy, oh boy, when you get those opportunities, you've got to score.
Well, John Vaughn never missed inside of 39 yards in his high school career. This is there from 23. And Vanderbilt takes off. Here's Norval McKenzie. Hurdles one defender and run out of bounds. And that'll be a first down. A gain of 11. Nifty running from Norval McKenzie, the young man who broke a leg last year.
Boy, and this is all on his own, Dave. He was going to start weak side. He's going to the weak side. which is to the right. And all of a sudden he sees that seam and breaks it all the way back. Now this is just talent. Picks up a little block, but look at there, avoiding people, seeing that down marker trying to stay in. 2 missed tackles on the play. That was a good effort.
First and 10. Cutler, straight drop. Fires wide side of the field. That's a good way to get your tight end hurt. Carlos Rogers just really lit up Curtis Brancho, and it wasn't any fault of Brancho, that's for sure. And that should do it for the first quarter here in Nashville. We're still scoreless. The smoke in the air. Somebody's trying to find their way through the fog. Second quarter football coming your way next. SEC football is brought to you in part by Chevy Trucks. Second quarter football. Scoreless. Auburn had a nice 14-play, 70-yard drive that ate up 7 minutes of the clock and got nothing out of it. A missed field goal. Vanderbilt now taking over, second down and 10. High formation. Tant the fullback. McKenzie the tailback, and here's McKenzie. McKenzie out to the 34-yard line. DeMarco McNeil makes the tackle. Our Gatorade first quarter stats.
It ain't pretty on either side. Vanderbilt, really, they need to get their offense going. The longer they leave it, the longer they allow Auburn to stay in, it's going to be tough. And boy, there's one person that you don't want to lose, Dontarius Thomas.
Being helped to that Auburn bench as Vandy faces a 3rd and 7. They're 0 for 3 today on third down conversions. Cutler, little quarterback keeper. Cutler falls close to the 40-yard line. He'll be about a yard shy. DeMarco McNeil holding on to make the tackle. DeMarco, that nose guard, 6'2", 300-pounder. Let's go back a play, Dave, and see if we can't pick up Dontarius Thomas's injury.
There he is, number 54. He slides. I wonder if it catches it.
I lost him in that shuffle.
Yeah, you see him right in there. He's holding that knee, that right knee.
Looked like Brian Kowaliski, the left guard for Vanderbilt, might have just fallen on that knee. One of those awkward situations as Aronomesh punts it away to Trey Smith at the 20. Smith brought down at the 26-yard line by Matthew Tant. 41-yard punt. And Auburn will have another chance to score their first touchdown of the season. The Alltel Touchdown and Tailgate Tour is coming to Little Rock next Saturday. If you are in town for the North Texas-Arkansas game, check out Alltel's huge interactive display where you can make free local and long-distance phone calls on the new Alltel cell phones. 340-inch plasma screen televisions keep tailgaters up to date on all of the day's sporting events. Plus, there will be other fun interactive activities. Alltel's Touchdown and Tailgate Tour coming to an SEC stadium near you. First and 10, Auburn. Play action again. Campbell fires. Taylor with the reception. Falls out of bounds at the 39-yard line. And that will be a first down, a gain of 13. Boy, they're really rolling Jason Campbell out to either side today.
Yeah, they're trying to get pressure on him, too. Chris Booker gets the pressure here. But nice square up by Jason Campbell. And look at this. Good concentration. Get that foot down. Perfect. That may spark this passing game, which would open up the running game. That's the kind of plays you need. A quarterback will get a lot more confidence.
Ronnie Brown tried to find a seam, nearly picked up a first down. Flags are down right in front of the Auburn bench.
Boy, and that may be piling on because that was a late pile on top. He was down on the ground, and I'm not sure whether the Vanderbilt player tripped or what. 15 yards from the spot. Tail on, a tail end here. Watch, he's down right in here. Oh, no, that's just piling on.
It's Robert Dinwiddie.
Foul is a dead ball. Foul, late hit by the defense. Penalty is 15 yards from the end of the run, followed by a first down.
Buzz, what's the story with Dontarius Thomas?
Just tweaked the knee. He'll be back next series, Dave. And Auburn down here on the sidelines, not a lot of jump at all on this sideline. They're looking to tweak something on this offense and make something happen and get off that bad bus.
1st and 10. Boy, Vanderbilt has helped out Auburn a couple of times here in the last 2 drives. Auburn did not take advantage last time. They will try here. Up top. Nearly picked off. Kelechi Ohanaje bats the pass down as Campbell threw into double coverage looking for Ben Obumanu.
Boy, Campbell taking a lot of time sitting back there. A lot of time. He gets some time, but right in here, right when you start to step up, you got to throw it now. Look how long he holds it, and he can't step forward. And Ohanaje just makes a great play. He reads the quarterback's eyes, goes up high, number 12, knocks that ball away. That's an outstanding play by your free safety.
Bruce Fowler, the defensive coordinator for Vanderbilt, told me he's been real pleased with the play of his safeties, Ohanaje and Pace. And we see why on that particular play. Here's Ronnie Brown. Brown driving hard near the 30. Picks up about 6 on the play. And that will bring up a 3rd down and 4 situation. Otis Washington in on the tackle. Already with 6 tackles is Otis Washington, number 52. Otis, they list Otis at 5'11", Dave, number 52 from Vanderbilt, middle linebacker. If he's over 5'9", I'll be shocked.
He plays like he's over that size. I liked him. I really do. I think he's really a great find for Vanderbilt. Really got his life together and straightened himself out.
Campbell. Pass is complete. McIntyre still on his feet. Will he score? Yes, and Auburn has put the ball in the end zone for the first time in 2003. It took a while, Dave, but they finally did it.
Well, you got to wrap him up. Number 8, Thompson, does not wrap him up. Look at this. He's got him. No. They come in, they all knock themselves off, and he just finds the end zone, keeps that good balance. And all of a sudden, you get the feeling that Auburn has maybe broken out of what they've been in.
John Vaughn's point after is up and good. A 31-yard reception. Who would have thought Auburn would have scored their first touchdown through the air? They'll take it any way they can get it. SEC football is brought to you in part by Acura. 7-0 is our score. Auburn leading Vanderbilt with 12:03 to go in the second quarter. Philip Yost to kick off. Quan A. Doster back to return. Yost kicking into the wind. Excellent kick. 4 yards deep in the end zone. Doster bounces around, stood up, knocked down at the 14-yard line. Good coverage from Auburn. Well, Aegis makes the final hit for the Tigers. Well, speaking of that Auburn defense, to shore up that club, Tommy Tuberville had a different kind of recruiting to do after last season.
Our best recruiting effort was getting Dontarius Thomas and Carlos Dansby to come back for the senior year, and we didn't convince them to do that. They did it on their own, which is the best part. You know, I'm not one of those coaches that believes that you go talk a guy into staying. You get all the information, bring the family in, let them talk to pro scouts, pro coaches, and give them the opportunity because it's their future. And there's a lot of money involved in this, and I don't want to do anything to jeopardize their future.
Well, Thomas and Dansby certainly have bright ones. Cutler all day to throw, goes deep into double coverage. That'll fall incomplete.
Boy, Cutler just sat back there. No rush on him. Got to get a rush on that young man. But you know, right now, Vanderbilt has got to respond. You've just given them 2 great opportunities. Your defense has given Auburn 2 great opportunities. They scored on you. Now your offense has got to come out and do something. Nobody gets more upset than a head coach when you make foolish mistakes. That piling on penalty was 15 yards.
Roughing the kicker, 15 yards.
Exactly.
So second down and 10. McKenzie in at tailback. Loose football. I believe Cutler came up with it. but was quickly swarmed by that Auburn defense. And now Bobby Johnson and company facing a 3rd down and long.
I don't think Cutler ever got the ball on this. Look, he has to hand it out in front now. He sees the ball come out, and he jumps on it. And when he got back up, after he got tackled right in here, he was fortunate to hold on to that football. Look where it is. When he got up, he started rubbing those fingers.
The Auburn faithful, and there are plenty of them on hand in Nashville, making some noise. Pressure coming. Cutler gets it to the 15-yard line before he is stopped there. And Vanderbilt will have to punt. Travis Williams in on the tackle for Auburn. And this will be the 5th punt for Vanderbilt today. This offense came in averaging 469 yards a game and 36 points a contest. They are struggling right now against this very good Auburn defense. Ronimus with a line drive kick that sends Trey Smith back to the 24. The Vanderbilt fans want to block in the back, won't get it. A 62-yard kick and an 11-yard return. And Auburn has good field position once again. It's 7-0. Auburn over Vanderbilt. We'll return after a word from your local stations. Today's game is brought to you in part by Hyundai. Beautiful blue skies in Nashville. A great weekend for football. Tommy Tuberville did not have a great week. You couldn't get here quick enough. He wanted to tee this up in a hurry. Bobby Johnson knew this was a tough team to figure out. They look so good on paper. Over the middle, pass is caught. Silas Daniels out over midfield to the Vanderbilt 41-yard line. 1st down Auburn. Gain of 22 on the play.
Well, I really like Jason Campbell on crossing patterns. When you come across the middle, you see you break right in here, and you're wide open in that zone right in the center. Catch it in front of them, look the ball in.
Buzz, looks like Auburn's got a little pep in their step.
You know, there's just a marked difference, Dave. You haven't experienced, but I have. When you're on the golf course and you can't get off the bogey bus, they're off now, and you can tell a difference like that right there.
Flag down at the line of scrimmage. Yeah, Ronnie Brown ran hard in that last series. Cadillac Williams has the carry there, but you're right. I mean, Tommy Tuberville said this team needs something good to happen to it. In 8 quarters of football, nothing good was happening.
Well, you know what you do when you start pressing like that? Now, they get a flag against them, of course. But what you do is you go back to doing what you do best. They run the football.
The offense only had 6 men on the line of scrimmage. Penalties 5 yards from the previous spot, followed by a replay of the 1st down.
Dave, this is just an opportunity where they've just got to come out and put consistency in the ball. They've got to run positive yards plays. You just can't keep on going back 4, going back 5.
I got to tell you, this 6 minute line of scrimmage thing, Dave, we have heard it going back to last year. Coaches are just getting so frustrated because their players just need to be aware. They know who's supposed to be up on the line and who's not. It's a frustrating aspect of the game for any coach when you have those flags thrown on situations like that. Pressure up the middle, trying to set up the screen to Trey Smith. They do so. Trey spins around inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. Kelechi Ohanije, the sophomore out of Arlington, Texas, makes his 5th tackle today on Trey Smith. So we've seen all 4 of the big gun running backs of Auburn. Carnell Williams, Ronnie Brown, Trey Smith. We even saw Brandon Jacobs carry the football for the first time in his Auburn career.
Okay, I'm going to make a call. Here we go. Jason Campbell, drop back, stay in the pocket, don't roll out. Look for a little crossing pattern. Bring somebody across, maybe like a Rama Shadu or Courtney Taylor. Bring them across the middle, see if you can find them on a little crossing pattern and complete the pass. I'm calling.
Wow. Wow. Daniels across the middle, and he makes the catch, gets hit. Loose football, who's got it? It'll be Auburn football, but my man, the quarterback, right on it. I mean, right on it.
Well, I like crossing patterns because they run to daylight. But boy, did he get stuck. When he came across the middle, Daniels no more had a chance to catch it than got just stuck right there by Morris, number 10. Watch this. Come across. Now, you got a lot of time to find that little seam. Now, he's open right here. Look at him. You get him the football, but watch how he gets stuck by Morris right there. Boy, that's a good hit. That's the way you teach your defensive backs to hit.
Teron Thompson, number 8 for Vanderbilt, looked like he had a chance to get that football. But that was a big hit on Silas Daniels, the 6-foot junior out of Jacksonville, Florida.
Well, the only criticism I was making, it's good to see Daniels up, is he needed to get about another 4 or 5 yards down on that crossing pattern to get the first down yardage. Came up a little shy. Now, Tommy Tuberville, 4th down. We've seen him gamble in the past. I wonder if he's ready to gamble right now.
It appears that he will. Dave, you asked me a question about 4th down and what it does for your team. If you can make it, your players want to go for it and all that kind of stuff. So,
hey, I like to go for it. You're in good field position. You know what I do? I come right back to a similar type of pattern. See if I can get somebody a little cross, get a little drag or something, just getting that first down yardage.
Over the middle. Pass is caught. McIntyre, who has the touchdown, now has a big first down catch inside the 15-yard line, inside the 20-yard line, down to the 17.
Good protection up front. It starts right there. Look, he delivers a strike right in there. Man-to-man coverage. He's got a chance. Look at me. I like Campbell standing right back there. Hey, throw that crossing pattern. Look for that coverage, that little seam where you're going to find it. Jason Campbell starting to answer the critics. Hey, he's moving the football.
More whistles. It wasn't a play clock issue.
Prior to the timeout, there was a timeout called by Auburn.
Auburn calls a timeout prior to the timeout. There you go. We'll step aside. Back after this.
Back here at Vanderbilt, you know, Auburn was charged with a timeout just before we went to break, but that's because they were screaming for a timeout from the Auburn sideline. It wasn't the coaches, though. The chain gang got caught up in all the coaching headsets here, and the head of the chain gang was saying, hey, give us a second till we get straightened out. It's now been straightened out. Auburn not charged with a timeout, and they still have 3. David?
All right, that's why there was a little bit confusion, but we've got it worked out. No timeout charge to the Auburn Tigers.
Well, I just watched Jason Campbell on that last series. He went up to Cadillac Williams, popped him on the forehead. It was kind of like, okay, wake up. This is your time.
Campbell, 8 of 12 for 121 yards today. Here's Cadillac. Bouncing off a couple of Vandy defenders.
Well, that was hard running. He ran through 2 or 3 tackles. He's going to run through tackles. This is good blocking at the point of attack. Now, get to the outside, bounce off there. If you're a Vanderbilt player, you're saying, hey, you better wrap him up, because that young man can run the football. But good blocking downfield by the wide receivers, too.
Cadillac, 9 carries, 28 yards. Bruce Fowler in the middle of those Vanderbilt coaches, the defensive coordinator, trying to stop this Auburn offense. Delayed handoff to Cadillac. He busted outside. Inside the 5 and run out of bounds at the 3, and that is Cadillac of old.
Boy, it is. He was going to be dropped for about a 3 or 4 yard loss, and he runs through the tackles. What he does is he dips his shoulders. Now watch along the line. This is draw. Now, right there, he's got nowhere. You see him kind of dip that shoulder, and when he gets to the outside here, he just dips that back inside shoulder and picks up that positive yardage. Nowhere to go initially. Now, make something happen. And when you're a great running back, that's what you do. You make something happen.
2 tight ends on 1st and goal. Cadillac dives for the end zone. Touchdown, Auburn! Dave, it seems like Auburn may have found their way.
They've got a Cadillac doing it. He carried the ball every time on that drive after that timeout. And it was interesting because I noted that Jason Campbell walked over there. It's almost like, hey, we're going to what got us here, and that's Cadillac Williams. He responded.
John Vaughn's point after is up and good. So Auburn leads Vanderbilt 14-0 with 6:27 to go before halftime. We'll return after these messages from the SEC. Auburn leading after scoring 2 touchdowns. It took a while. Hatcher takes the kick at the 8. Some big-time collisions going on, but looks as though everybody will get up. We hope. Looks like we've got one injured player. Not everybody's getting up right now. Vanderbilt players calling for some help. I really saw some bodies go flying right around the 20-yard line. Dan Murphy, a backup tight end, looks to be the man on the ground for the Commodores.
Dave, I played on that wedge when I played in the NFL. That is a tough spot. What you do is you all gather in there, and boy, when they all of a sudden that running back comes there and he yells go, and I mean everybody's flying down trying to break up the wedge because that's where the attack, where the ball's going to be taken forward. Let's see if we can see him. There he is, right there, right in the middle. And you see he gets the shot right there. Wow, that is a shot.
Brandon Jacobs, the junior college transfer, goes 6'4", about 260.
Well, you see it right there.
Yeah, that is just a big-time collision.
Well, they've got great medical staffs. They take real good care of them. I think they're taking, you see right in there, that looks like they're taking off the face mask. They do that. Here comes a cart, bringing a cart out on the field. You hate to see this, you really do. You hate to see things like this, but great medical staff.
Dan, a senior out of Shaker Heights, Ohio.
Dave, haven't been in this situation. I just hope a lot of this is precautionary because, again, you know, you just don't want to take a chance with it. Err on the side of caution.
We had a scary moment, I believe it was last week in the South Carolina-Virginia game, and I don't think a lot of people, we have the opportunity to go down and see some practices and go down the field before the game, and to really see these guys in their pads, how big they are, how fast they are.
Well, I'll give you an example just about that very same thing. When I played in the NFL, I was huge. I was about 6'7", about 285 pounds. When I retired from the NFL, I was next to the smallest player on the defensive line. So, and of course, that's 20 years ago. But players today, 300 pounds, they can all run 5 flat 40-yard dashes or better. But they're well-conditioned athletes.
Tom Bossing, the head athletic trainer here at Vanderbilt, will certainly get his staff together.
See Bobby Johnson there. Coach's got a lot of concern for these kids. I mean, you know, you live with them. You're just with them all the time. Bruce Fowler, of course, the defensive coordinator. And I'll tell you one thing, this is a hush crowd, both Auburn and Vanderbilt. There's not a word being said here. Everyone.
Well, it is just a It's a horrible situation every time this happens. Really is. Buzz, what do you have?
Dave, this is a standard operating procedure. We don't know exactly the condition yet, but there was a situation like this up in Lexington just a few weeks ago at the UK practice where Antonio Hall, the big offensive tackle, was in a similar situation. What they do is they immediately immobilize the head, and they keep all the different arms and legs. They keep them immobilized as well, and it actually came over a police scanner up there that there had been a spinal cord injury, and what it is, you momentarily lose that feeling in the arms, and 2 days later, Antonio Hall was back practicing, and he played that weekend. Now, again, we don't know what the situation here, but these medical staffs are so good that no matter what the severity of the injury, whenever it's something like this, they go to the nth degree to make sure that everything is as it should be, and that's the procedure they're going through right now.
Well, Dan's mother is a nurse, so she is aware of the medical procedures that go into an injury like this.
Watch again, 94. Let's see if we can see. I thought he turned his head. There he is right in there. You see the strike. He went back. He actually had two players hit on him. Again, watch his head. See if he doesn't see how he turns his head a little bit in there. He took the shot at both people. 94. Right in the left of your screen, you'll see him right in there get hit. You see him kind of turn his head and twist as he goes down. I can tell you, I don't care which side of the field. I've been that way on a field when people have been injured, and I don't care which team you're on. Nobody wants to see this. I don't care if it's the other team's best player and he's not going to come back. There's not a player on either one of these squads wants to see another player hurt.
Well, the Vanderbilt Hospital is one of the best in the world, and it is just a few hundred yards away from where we are right now.
Well, one thing of interest, see how he has his hands across his chest? You see him moving his hands. That's good. That's a good sign. You see him having his hands. He has right in there.
Good hand for Dan Murphy from Shaker Heights, Ohio. Buzz, what do you have?
Well, good sign so far. We're seeing movement of the hands and at least the upper extremities. He was kind of flexing his hands, trying to get the numbness out and wave to the crowd as they were cheering for him as he was rolled out the end of the stadium here.
And I know, Buzz, you'll be on top of that. Give us whatever information becomes available. We'll stay on top of it for you. It's a 1st and 10 for Vanderbilt. The game goes on. Cutler goes down. DeMarco McNeil trips up Cutler. Loss of about 3 on the play.
Well, DeMarco McNeil is a real workhorse in there. He works over the center. Number 92. He just keeps on coming around and looking right in there. Get back in there. Stephen Brent's going to have his hands full today.
Buzz, any more on the injury?
Trainer Tom Bossing, it's a concussion. That's the bad news, but the good news is, from the way it looked, it could have been much worse, but we're told a concussion right now.
Cutler to throw. To Doster. Swings it out. Quade loses the football. Who's got it? Doster fumbled 2 times last week against Tennessee Chattanooga and puts it on the turf here.
When this is where the officials haven't signaled anything, so these guys down the bottom of the pile, they're rooting it out. Now they signal.
Well, Dansby forced the fumble, his second forced fumble today.
I think he just gets it ripped out. Dansby comes out and just rips the ball out of it. In fact, it was Dansby. Throw out to the flat. Now, do you go out of bounds? He tries to get back inside, make something happen, and you see how the ball just gets ripped out of there? That's Dansby, number 11, who does it. Again, watch right in here. See how he catches his left arm, and he pulls that ball out. Oh, what a great play. And recovers the fumble.
How about that? Well, remember last year he caused a fumble and then recovered it for a touchdown against this Auburn team. in the game we were able to cover. Boy, he is just a playmaker. Here's Brandon Jacobs trying to get to the outside to stiff arm. Andrew Pace hanging on, runs him out of bounds. Here's our Aaron's Rents scoreboard. Arkansas on top of Texas. How about that? Ohio State over NC State. Pittsburgh over Ball State. Waiting on that Wake Forest score to come rolling around. Oh, they're down by 3 to Purdue in the third quarter. And Iowa 10 better than Iowa State in the second. 2 tight ends in the game for Auburn. In motion, Anthony Mix. And timeout. Play clock down to 2. I think Jason Campbell wanted to change the play, but did not have time.
I was really surprised at that call, and I'm surprised having Brandon Jacobs back there. You just had Cadillac Williams run the ball 5-6 times in a row for a score.
Well, the Auburn defense dominated Vanderbilt last year at Jordan-Hare Stadium. They really put on a show, and well, they were responsible for 2 touchdowns in that 31-6 win. Here's that play I talked about moments ago. Dansby swatted the ball from Cutler's hands to force a fumble that he recovered, ran it into the end zone. That opened the scoring. And then in the fourth quarter, how about Spencer Johnson, 57, working hard. He recovered a fumble, then ran it back for a 27-yard touchdown. And the Tigers converted 4 Commodore turnovers into 21 points. There's Gene Chizik closest to the... There you go, Dave. Way to use the telestrator. That's the defensive coordinator for Auburn. We talked to him yesterday, and, you know, he kept saying his defense is playing pretty good, but he expects more out of them. Yeah. He thinks his group is so talented that being good isn't good enough.
Well, they want to, and everybody looks to a defense when you're not winning. But I'll tell you, there was one telltale stat that really jumped out at me. In the 2 games that they lost, they had only allowed like 25 or 26 first downs. Well, that's only 13 a game. That means your defense is playing pretty strong. The only thing that I saw, Dave, that they weren't getting was production up front in the way of sacks.
And his line was, they want 1 sack per 9 pass attempts is what they've kind of figured that they need to get. And right now, defensively, this Auburn defense has 2 sacks for a total of 15 yards coming into today's game. DeMarco McNeil has 1 today. So 3 on the season. Second down and 2. Here's Jacobs. Jacobs powers his way. That might be a first down. Jacobs 6'4", 255. In junior college last year, Jacobs really put on a show, gaining 624 yards and scored 18 touchdowns at Coffeyville Junior College. Recruited by Auburn out of high school, didn't qualify, went the junior college route, and when some schools kind of left him alone, Auburn still kept in contact with him. And because of that, Brandon Jacobs says, I'm going to Auburn regardless if they have Ronnie Brown, Cadillac Williams. They were loyal to me. I'm going to be loyal to them, and I'm going to wait my time to carry the football.
Well, he's getting an opportunity, and you see him there. He's looking over saying, well, how about some more?
Well, it'll be third down and very, very, very short.
You know what I do? Just give it right back to him. The big man, hey, he's 250-some pounds. Put his head down. I hate quarterback sneaks. You know I hate that. Just give him the football. Let the big man find that little seam. If they can stop him for a yard, hey, bring it on.
There it is. Jacobs inside the 10. He'll pick up the first down. Booker makes the tackle along with Kelechi Ohanije.
Well, I'll tell you, I know we want to see Brandon Jacobs, and that's good to see, but I'm a little bit surprised. As I said, Carnell Williams, he just ran the ball in for your last score.
Ronnie Brown, Cadillac Williams, watching.
He doesn't look like he's tired. He looks like he's saying, hey, Coach, I'm ready to go.
First and goal from the 9. Jacobs, the big man, powers his way inside the 5, all the way down to the 3-yard line. Javon Hay finally made the tackle. That is one big boy wearing 27 in white.
Hey, I want to tell you something. That was a collision. Javon Hay, number 91, sticks him right there. And look at the yards after contact. He picks up about 5, almost 6 yards after contact. Oh, did you hear that hit? Wow. That was a stick.
Now, it's Jacobs again. Jacobs trying to turn the quarter, can't do it. And Moses Osimichi, a nice play, and you see why he is so valuable to that defense.
Yeah, number 1 tackler, and you're a number 1 tackler because you get to the ball. Watch number 30 slide along to the outside. Now, he's under control. When he gets his hands on, you see him whip them legs up. That's what you want to do. You bring those legs out from underneath them. Big down here.
Ronnie Brown checks in for Jacobs. Jacobs carried 5 consecutive times before being replaced by Brown. Swarming black jerseys stop Ronnie Brown at the 5.
I'm going to tell you, you can't play any better than Bill Alford did, number 7 on the outside. He turns it back. He turns it back to the inside. That's exactly what you have to do on this play. He has to come up here and turn that play back inside. See, it's wait, toss now. See how he gets outside position, turns it back. There's his help. Javon Hay, 91 in there. The other linemen are coming. If he doesn't do his responsibility, that goes for a touchdown.
And Auburn will attempt a field goal. It's John Vaughn from 23. He has missed, or from 21. He missed from 23. This kick is nailed right through the uprights. And Auburn's lead is now 17 points with 2:32 to go in the second quarter. Dave, I'm still a little bit surprised that Auburn not able to punch that in. Good defensive stand by Vanderbilt, but let's face it, they had great field position and got stuck at the 5-yard line.
Absolutely, and for Vanderbilt, that has to be like a little something to give them a lift. Now, they need another lift, and this 2:32, they need their offense to come out and move some change. They've been shut down, 3 and out, fumble, and they're just not doing the job.
Our Chick-fil-A nugget of today's game is a look at the last 5 years of SEC football champions. Of course, Georgia won for the first time in 20 years last season. LSU, Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee are your last 5 champions. And once again, I know this has been talked about, but Auburn picked to win the SEC championship this year, according to the writers. Well, they've only been right since 1992, since they split into divisions, and that was in 94 and 95. So none of those teams we just showed you were picked to win the championship, so I guess it's the curse.
Well, how many times have they been right, the writers? They're not right, are they?
You said it. They're not me.
They're writers. They're great writers. No. A really important series here. Vandy does not want to go in. Their defense made a little stand, stopped them, but you've got to do something on offense. You can't put your team down 17-0 and not moving the football.
Doster. Quane falls forward to the 20. Let's go down to Dave Baker with our Alltel sideline connection. Buzz?
And Dave, it's going to be interesting on this series to see exactly what happens with Quane Doster. See if he can get some confidence going. He put the ball on the ground deep 2 times last week. He's put it on the ground 2 times today. Bobby Johnson told us he's a guy that doesn't overreact to fumbles, but you know it's something he's got to be thinking about, and Doster himself has to be thinking about as well, especially with Norval McKenzie running as well as he has.
Yeah, McKenzie last week ran for 102 yards. Cutler to throw on first down. Boy, Auburn's defense, Eric Davis made the catch, but Auburn's defense has been swarming. They have been all over the football today.
Well, you know, if I was going to throw the football, I think I'd throw it away from Junior Rosegreen. That young man playing corner gets to the football in a hurry. I think you have to go downfield. I think you have to get one of those wide receivers in a crossing pattern. Come bring them across the middle. You can't be kept on dinking. You're running out of time. Throw 15, 18 yards. See what might happen.
Cutler scrambling, fires over the middle, has his tight end, Brancho, the junior from Greenville, Texas, hit by Dansby and Rosegreen. Gain of 19. That'll be a first down.
Nice route here, good time. Coming off the line, he's just going to circle. See him right in there? He's just going to circle around, find an open spot. Now, you're in hurry-up offense. You got a little bit of time. Again, look downfield. Nice move that time by Cutler out of the pocket. Got a little bit more time.
Vanderbilt now with just 55 yards of offense this half. Pressure coming. Cutler hit. Passes dropped. Brandon Smith hit him right in the numbers. Pressure came from Travis Williams on Cutler, but should not have affected that passing catch.
Boy, Cutler delivered a strike on that one, and he ought to yell at him a little bit. He ought to take Brandon Smith and say, you need to catch that ball. Because you got to look that football in, catch it away from your body. That time it bounced off his body and off it went. That could have been a huge play. Now, do you go right back to him? If you're a gutsy quarterback, sometimes you go right back to him. You say, hey, he made a mistake. I'll go right back, see if you can make up for it.
Batted down by Dexter Murphy, the 6'2 senior out of LaGrange, Georgia. And it looked like Cutler just threw it right at him.
Yeah. Murphy was right in his face. I mean, we're talking about, watch to the right of your screen. He's only about 2 yards. Right there. Look, he just throws it. Oh, man. You know what I would do in that situation? Maybe move around the pocket a little bit. Maybe fake him, but don't throw it right in his hands. Big down. Don't give it back up. You want to stay in this football game.
Saw that number on the graphic, 0 for 5 on third downs. Make it 0 for 6. Vandy just not clicking on offense. Brandon Smith, the intended receiver, and the Commodores will punt it away with 1:22 to go before halftime. Vandy only 2 first downs today.
Well, Auburn brought a lot of pressure that time. They brought pressure right up the gap. They're saying, hey, if you're going to throw it, you're going to throw it quick.
Buzz, everything going so well for Auburn, they get the ball back, and they didn't have to use any of their timeouts to get it back and maybe get some more points on the board.
Good point, Buzz. That worked out well if you're an Auburn fan. Trey Smith takes it on a bounce. Still on his feet. Finally brought down at the 20-yard line. 42-yard punt. Hurdley Harrison on the tackle for the Commodores. Today's game is brought to you in part by GMC. Dave, 1:10 to go. If you're Auburn, do you just go in and be happy with your 17-0 lead, or you try to put some more points on the board?
Well, Buzz brought up a really interesting point. You get the ball back, you got a minute and something left, you get some more points. But the one thing that you cannot do is force that ball trying to get something and give up a big play the other way. In this field position, they may throw it, but I just don't think they're going to.
Cadillac Williams picks up 7 on the play. The last 3 possessions for Auburn have resulted in a touchdown, and a field goal. Their first 2 went punt. And then on their third one, they missed a short field goal. So they've had, actually, their last 4 drives have had opportunities to put points on the board.
Now, if I had a Cadillac Williams back there, I might dump pass to him, just roll him out, let him get one-on-one, see if he can get out in the secondary. But he's a threat to go all the way every time.
Moses Osimichi with a big hit on Carnell Williams. And I think that the Auburn Tigers will let this just play itself out and head to the locker room and be happy that they've had 2 touchdowns after going touchdown-less the first 2 games of the season.
Well, and Vanderbilt's going to have to regroup. Tommy Tuberville's going to get his team in there and say, okay, we started doing things. Bobby Johnson's going to get in there and say, hey, we hurt ourselves. We were the biggest fault. They gave him that, the roughing the kicker, gave him another opportunity. The piling on, you just can't have those kind of penalties to give the ball back to the offense.
Well, Vanderbilt put up 41 first-half points, the most since they've been keeping records here at Vanderbilt last week against UTC. This week, it's a big goose egg. They trail 17-0 to the Auburn Tigers. And Auburn had a balanced attack and actually scored their first touchdown on a pass. Who would have ever thought that? So a good crowd on hand. Beautiful day in Nashville, Tennessee, where Auburn has been the talk of the Southeastern Conference. And for more of that, Let's go down to the sideline and Buzz Baker.
Tommy, I know it's only a couple of touchdowns, but it's got to feel like the weight of the world is off your shoulders.
It's Christmas. We scored a touchdown. But, you know, we've been so close for the past couple of weeks. And for now it finally happened, I think the monkey's off our back a little bit. Now we can just relax a little bit and go play football.
Defensively, your guys have relaxed and they've been awfully active.
Yeah, we got a good defense. We always have had. We just hadn't played as well as we needed to, but we're starting to come together a little bit, but we still got a half to go.
All right, thanks, Coach. We appreciate it. That's Tommy Tuberville. His team on top of Vanderbilt, 17-0. We've got a lot more still to come here in Nashville as we get set for another full half of football. The Commodores and the Tigers back with more right after this.
SEC football is being brought to you by Regions Bank, by Sonic Drive-Ins, by Jiffy Lube, by Taco Bell, and by Napa Auto Care Centers.
Historic Ryman Auditorium here in downtown Nashville on a beautiful day, clear skies, but there is a dark cloud over this town and really all over the country as the man in black, Johnny Cash, died just about 36 hours ago, and his passing has certainly brought out a lot of emotion from people in this part. Johnny Cash, a big part of this town, and certainly a big part of music and a big part to a lot of people, and he'll be sorely missed. Johnny Cash certainly left his mark.
Oh, boy. I loved him. I met him one time in the airport, he and June Carter Cash, his wife, and what gracious people. They were so kind to everybody that came up, was getting autographs, and he was just saying hello to everybody, and just a regular great person.
Second half football. Vanderbilt trying to get it cranked up, but they'll have to wait offensively as they will kick off. Trey Smith drops the opening kickoff, recovers it. Still on his feet, Trey Smith now over the 30 to the 33-yard line. That looked a mess, but it came out all right. Let's check in with Dave Baker, who recently caught up with Bobby Johnson.
Bobby, you had some uncharacteristic big negative plays that worked against you in the first half.
Well, yeah, we did. Mainly we had missed tackles. You know, we missed a lot of tackles in crucial situations and allowed them to get some crucial first down and, of course, a touchdown over here. So I thought we played fairly well on defense, really, to tell you the truth, but we missed way too many tackles, did not execute well on offense.
Offensively, what can you do to get into that rhythm you've had the first couple of weeks?
Well, we're going to have to be, pare down on what we're doing, just do a few things, do them over and over so we can get used to doing them and be successful at something. We need to be successful at something.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot. Best of luck second half. That's Bobby Johnson, Dave.
That was Buzz and Coach Johnson a few moments ago. Jason Campbell's pass falls incomplete. That'll bring up a second down and 10.
I can tell you what he really wants to do is move those chains, get first downs, keep this ball away from Auburn, and get some momentum going. I mean, he's fortunate to only be down 17-0 in this first half as we start the second half.
Ronnie Brown gets a couple on the play. They've assessed this offensive line from Auburn today. Mark Parra, Troy Reddick, Danny Lindsey, Monrico Crittenton, Marcus McNeil. They've been taking a lot of heat.
Well, and I think it's rightfully so. When I was watching film this week, I saw a lot of breakdowns, a lot of penetration. This is basically the same line from last year minus the center. And they're all experienced veterans that have had a lot of playing time. They just have not run the ball with any consistency.
They pick up the blitz. That bounces off the shoulder pads of Ronnie Brown, and it falls incomplete, and Auburn will have to punt it away in their first possession here of the second half.
Well, now that's a negative for Tommy Tuberville's team. You don't want to come out and give Auburn any life. I mean, that's what he's got a concern about. And you see Jason Campbell walk over there. Coach doesn't even want to talk to him. Now, for Auburn, if you get the football, you get good field position, you get back into your flow, hey, a score can get you back in this game.
That was Auburn's first 3 and out since the second drive of the game. Cody Bliss to punt. Loose football. But Ronald Hatcher will fall on it at the 32. Once again, let's go down to Dave Baker with our Alltel sideline connection.
Hey, Dave, Dan Murphy, who was injured in what was a horrific-looking special teams collision in the first half. He's been taken over to the Vanderbilt Medical Center, being evaluated. The doctors believe it is a severe concussion. He has movement in all of his extremities. That's all good, but they're evaluating. Also, Lorenzo Parker, backup cornerback, will not play anymore today. He's out with a concussion.
That's a tough blow. Lorenzo just moved into the starting lineup last week. Cutler to fire over the middle. It's tight end Brancho. First down at the 48-yard line. Hit by Will Herring in that Auburn secondary after a gain of 17.
Well, I wonder what Carlos Dansby did that time. He's got the tight end. There he is. Look, he doesn't even see him. Circles around, and now Dansby's almost in no man's land. That's just a broken assignment, I think. You know, not knowing what the coverage is. Obviously, he may have been thinking something else. But that's too good a football player to miss assignments.
Vanderbilt's third first down of the game. Cutler pitches, gets hit as he does so. McKenzie gets a couple on the play, but Cutler wound up back at the 30-yard line. Line of scrimmage is the 50.
I know. When he saw that pressure coming, oh, man, you want to see what it's like to get hit. Wow. Coming down. Here comes number 11 coming around the corner. Hey, he's coming after the quarterback. Look at that. That's Dansby. Boy, he's got great form, Dave. He runs through you. He doesn't just tackle you and fall down. He does it just like a pro. He runs right through you and smashes you.
Doster back in the game at tailback. They'll play fake to him. Cutler lofts it up. Oh, had a receiver, Chris Young, just over.
Boy, Chris Young turned around and said, hey, wait a minute. What? I was wide open.
Hey, that was a strange play.
It's a little reverse action now. He comes strong side. Look at Young, 16, right up in there. Look at him. He's right there. He says, hey, I'm wide open. Oh, man. Now watch when he turns around. He goes, hey, wait a minute. But now this is a situation. You're a sophomore quarterback. You have to fight your way through. Bobby Johnson has a lot of confidence in Jay Cutler. And he should just fight his way through. But Auburn's going to come with some heat.
Cutler to throw. Has his receiver Brandon Smith. First down Vanderbilt inside the 40. Carlos Dansby and Carlos Rogers make the stop for the Tigers.
That was an interesting catch by Brandon Smith. You remember that one he dropped out in the flat? That's a makeup one. He looked that ball in.
Ted Kane, the offensive coordinator, said he toned down the package this year and just wanted to perfect the things they did well. It worked the first 2 weeks, but a little sluggish here today. Cutler, here comes some pressure. Herring puts the pressure on him. He lofts it up in the air, and the pass is caught for a touchdown. Eric Davis, the sophomore out of Nashville. Flags are down everywhere. A 39-yard touchdown strike. And he beat Junior Rosegreen, one of the best cover guys in the league.
Well, I think when Rosegreen looks about, I think that Rosegreen he loses sight of the ball. He turns his head away. Look, there's a hold there. Now, you see the receiver looking back for the football. Davis is looking back. Rosegreen has no idea. You see him grab right there, and it's a pretty stiff sun that he's looking back in. He never picked up the ball. Look at all the turns that Young made. Eric Davis made looking back to the football.
Junior Rosegreen, that might be the first time and last time we'll say this all year, but he was completely lost.
Yeah, he was. And when he looked back into a bright sun.
Here's the point after from Tolga Ertugrul. But Vanderbilt is on the board. They trail by 10. 12-12 to go in the third quarter. Back after this. SEC football is brought to you in part by Toyota. Got ourselves a ball game. 17-7. Auburn over Vanderbilt. Opening moments of the third quarter. Buzz, what's it like down on the field right now?
Well, they tell me sunny and 74 in the truck, but that's what they told me 2 weeks ago when it was 96 and sweltering.
Wasn't it sunny and 74 last week in Columbia, too?
Absolutely. I think something...
Are you sensing a trend, Buzz?
Something is stuck on a monitor somewhere.
There's Cadillac. Nowhere to go. And Auburn will take over at the 30. Well, football fans, register for your chance to win $1 million in the Bell South Kick for $1 Million contest. One lucky fan will be given the opportunity to kick for $1 million during halftime of the 2004 Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl in Atlanta on January 2nd. Log on to jpsports.com to register and then start practicing your field goals. Bell South, listening, answering. A lot of the Bell South folks on hand today. Always good to see them. Part of the JP SEC football family. There's Campbell. Pass is caught by Anthony Mix. After all that work, got about 5 yards. A couple of more missed tackles by the Commodores defense. Well, Hanajay had a chance at it early.
Yeah, that's the difference between winning and losing. Interesting. Campbell comes out. Now they've established the run. Good night. They ran for almost 100 yards in the first half. They come right out. They're going to pass. The one thing they do not want to do is go 3 and out in that situation. Give ball back to Vanderbilt. I'm going back to Cadillac if I'm the quarterback making the haul. Oh, now they jump off sides.
And Cooper Wallace will move Auburn back 5. That's the 5th penalty on Auburn. They've been relatively quiet. In the first 6 minutes of this game, they had 4 penalties. So that's one of the reasons they've been able to put it in the end.
Well, you remember those first 2 series, Dave, they came out, they just sputtered, they didn't move the ball, they were 3 and out, 3 and out.
But the offense,
then they started to
5 yards from the
establish.
previous spot, followed by repeat of the second down.
But they started to establish the run, and that's what got them back allowed them to pass the football. Now they're stumbling again.
There's Hunall and his play card, the offensive coordinator for Auburn. See what he calls off the card. That's pretty easy. 24 to the right.
Yeah.
Otis Washington with his 7th tackle of the day. I love watching Otis play. I mean, this guy is 5'11", 225. And just if you didn't catch it week 1, here's a guy that as a kid, he was 9 years old, was shot 3 times in front of his dad's church in Saginaw, Michigan. Then he came to Vanderbilt, didn't do it academically, left, went back home, came back to school after sitting out a year, but came back 55 pounds overweight, but is now in playing shape and a vital part of this defense.
And just a good follow-up to that, Hunter Hillenmeyer said, hey, Coach, we need to get that guy back.
Another missed tackle. He stays in bounds. Jarris McIntyre will go the distance. 67 yards. His 2nd touchdown catch today.
Well, Bobby Johnson talked about missed tackles. Vanderbilt has had 9 missed tackles in this game. This is a simple out pattern. You got to make the tackle. Now you hold for help. That's Thompson. He lets him go. Now it's down the sideline, and look at him just tightrope down there. He's going all the way. Missed tackles.
Point after from John Vaughn is up, and it is good. So Auburn responds to the Vanderbilt touchdown. Jarris McIntyre, the senior out of Tampa, Florida, with his 2nd touchdown reception today. 24-7, Auburn on top of Vanderbilt. Tigers had scored 3 points in their first 8 quarters of football. Looks like they're out of that offensive funk. Hatcher lets it sail through the end zone. And Jason Campbell, the recipient of some nice, nifty footwork from his receiver, Jarris McIntyre.
Dave, I wonder if he got hurt on that last play. When he threw the football out, he kind of got hit right in there. And when he got up, he was shaking his hand, came over. I don't know. He got up kind of slow. He never saw the tail end of that play.
Saw Dave Baker scooting as fast as Buzz can go at his old age across the end zone, trying to get over there to find out. So he'll have an update in a matter of moments. And you know, it's hot out there. We're really asking Buzz to do a lot today.
74, isn't it?
Here's the handoff, McKenzie. Norval McKenzie keeping his feet moving. Picks up 9 on the play. Norval getting quite a bit of work. The junior out of Powder Springs, Georgia.
Well, it's what you do after you get hit. Right in there, when you get hit, you keep those legs churning. Just keep on running, trying to find that little seam. Backs are always looking for that little tiny seam, that daylight they call it. And good backs keep those legs going. Kwani Doster, 2 on the ground. He may be sitting out for a few months. Because McKenzie has been good. He had a great game last week.
102 yards. And McKenzie dives forward. Will pick up the first down for Vanderbilt. I knew Buzz was on his feet moving around. He's got an update on Jason Campbell. Buzz?
Just took a good hard shot. He's over there clearing out the cobwebs, and he'll be back. They've also been taking a look at Brandon Jacobs, who's had such a great game. They say only that he's got an upper body injury. They were looking at some x-rays. No word about what that was about, but they say he might return.
Buzz, take a few minutes. Put something cold on top of your head. We'll get back with you in a little bit. Good work down there. Dansby gets to Cutler as he lets go of the football. Dave, there's a couple of guys in there getting involved. Ontario's Thomas, Spencer Johnson, but I watched Dansby and he just blew up the running back again.
Well, he does. You're not going to take him up high. Look at this. Go through the tight end. Now just run right through it, blow him over. Now, if you're a running back, what you've got to do is you've got to get down low. You got to maybe try to cut him. But you're not going to, his upper body strength and that leverage he has reminds me a lot of Ted Hendricks, the great linebacker that I played with for so many years with the Oakland Raiders. Got that same kind of leverage.
Dansby with 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, 3 quarterback pressures today. And then from the other side, Reggie Torbor, and he might have just stripped the ball right out of Cutler's hand. He did. What a play from Reggie Torbor. That was David Pollock-esque.
It really was. Cutler never saw him. Look, he's looking back over here. Torbor comes right around there. Look at that. Just takes the football out. See him pull it out right there? He's got it in his hand. Again, watch this. You see Cutler looking this way. He doesn't see Torbor. Now look, he hits right on the ball, rips it out. Great coaching is that you tear the football out, you pull it. Dansby helps him and says, hey, we're going this way. You know they wanted that 1 sack every 9 games. They're getting great pressure on the quarterback, and they're getting those sacks.
Ronnie Brown in a tailback. Ronnie Brown inside the 10 down to the 9-yard line. Marty Morgan makes the tackle for the Commodores. Jake Cutler has fumbled the football 3 times today. He has lost 2 of those. And Vandy has helped Auburn today considerably. For the best deals on cars, trucks, and SUVs, visit your local Toyota dealer today.
Now, don't get fancy. Just keep on giving it to the hoss that got you here to the dance.
Nice move, Ronnie Brown. Another nice move, and he's tripped up at the goal line. How about the move to get free?
That's a wow. I mean, when you freeze a defensive back or a linebacker right in the spot, I mean, this is a freeze. Both feet just lock into it. Look at this block right there. See how he just kind of freezes them? Man, good blocks downfield.
And Dave, I sense confidence in the running backs right now.
Absolutely. Good block up front there. Brandon Johnson, 45. Now, get downfield. I'll tell you, you're right. They're running. This is when I watched film last week, they didn't run like this.
Ronnie Brown dives in. Touchdown, Tigers. The Auburn Tigers just might be back.
Oh, I think they're back because you know what they did? When they got that opportunity, their defense turned the ball over. They went in and scored.
You got to take advantage of turnovers. 3 plays, 18 yards. Ronnie Brown did it all. Vaughn's point after is up and good. The lead has been stretched to 24 points. The Auburn Tiger offense looks pretty good. Back after a word from your local stations. SEC football is brought to you in part by Toyota. That was the last touchdown by the Auburn Tigers. They now kick off. Phillip Yost sends it into the end zone. Doster will take a knee, and Vanderbilt will take over at the 20. So Auburn's offense has had a 3 and out their last 2 drives, Dave. The only problem is if you're a Vandy fan, they've resulted in touchdowns. Yeah. This offense has been stung today. They just ran into an Auburn defense that would have stopped about any team in America now.
Well, we talked about the great linebackers coming back. We talked up front, DeMarco McNeil. I mean, they're solid. Torbor. I mean, they're strong players. Dansby, Thomas. They've got just a stable of players. We knew how good they'd be. Just didn't know when they'd start playing.
Carlos Dansby puts the hit on Norval McKenzie. Oh, my goodness.
Ouch.
Arkansas 35-14 over Texas in the 4th. My goodness. That's a wow, right?
That's definitely a wow, let me tell you.
And an injured player. That's Curtis Brancho down there. He has been a big part of this Vanderbilt offense today. Matter of fact, he kind of moved up into the starting lineup today. Nick Getter, the normal starting tight end, has had a little tweaked hamstring, but Curtis has been playing real well throughout the season. He's got a couple of catches today for 35 yards. A junior from Greenville, Texas.
It looks like they were holding his left or right ankle down in the ankle area. Sometimes you just get those feet just get caught up in that turf. You know, you're trying to dig, somebody falls on the leg, just twists that ankle. A lot of times that happens. There's a lot of people down there and a lot of big people. Ted Kane, the offensive coordinator, you know, he's got some concern. That's been Vandy's problem for years, Dave, has been their depth. They just don't have depth. They get to the end of the season, you get 4 or 5 players hurt, and they just don't have the depth to recover from it.
Of course, we'll try to get you an update as soon as we can. 31-7 now is our score, 3rd quarter. 8-17 and counting. Throws back. McKenzie. He better get on his horse. There are a lot of white jerseys chasing him. Cutler with a nice block. And a first down. My goodness. That play was going nowhere in a hurry, and McKenzie turned it into a first down.
You were watching what I was watching, and that was Cutler making his block on Kane Dixon all the way across the field. Cutler is the quarterback. It's a throwback screen. It doesn't fool Auburn. But now McKenzie comes all the way back, and let's see if you see number 6 get in there. Right in there. Oh, good cut. Man, you don't see that often from a quarterback. Of course, when you're about 6'4", about 225, I don't think I want my quarterback to do that a whole lot.
Cutler will keep it on the option. Jay Cutler out over midfield, tripped up. Donnie Young saved a touchdown. And you say that literally.
Yeah, exactly. Well, one thing that Cutler does this time is he gets the good position right here. See how wide open he is? He can fake. He's got back up in here. He fakes off the defender to take there. He doesn't take it. He keeps it back up. Now cut back inside. He gets a nice block downfield by Chris Young, the wide receiver. I'm wondering they needed a little bit more of this option earlier.
Donnie Young's left hand. That's all it took to stop Jay Cutler. Another first down for the Commodores. Here's the handoff to Quan Doster. Doster, he sails out of bounds after getting it to the 39-yard line. A gain of about 4. Maybe give him 5 on the play. It's the first carry this half for Quan Doster.
Well, one of the things when I was watching Bobby Johnson's team this week on tape, was that they were so well disciplined. They just didn't make mistakes. And it was so uncharacteristic in that first half when they roughed the punter and then they piled on. They gave him opportunities. He doesn't like that. He's a well-coached team. They don't make mistakes. Now they're getting back into a little bit of flow, moving the ball, moving the chains.
McKenzie. Nice play. Travis Williams, the sophomore out of Columbia, South Carolina, the quiet man in that linebacking core, stayed home, didn't buy the fake.
Boy, he did. He exploded on that football, number 51 did. They did that little toss. I mean, he cleared some ground in a hurry. See, it's a toss back all by himself. Now look at 51 coming up in there. Good breakdown right there. And then when you get those hands, you see how he just claws on them? It's what you want. You want that hand strength where you can just rip them down.
Vanderbilt 1 of 7 on third downs. You can now make it 1 of 8. Pressure got to Cutler. Auburn wanted a fumble. Cutler frustrated as he storms out of the pile there. And Vandy will have to give up the football.
Well, Reggie Torbor just comes around. He doesn't have good position, but he gets that hand out inside and swats the ball down. And he makes a great move to the outside. Sometimes you can't get to the quarterback, but you can disrupt him. You yell, you get that hand in there, swipe that ball away. Auburn wanted sacks. They wanted pressure on their quarterback. They wanted more production from their front. They're getting it.
Ronovich, another end-over-end kick. Trey Smith takes it inside the 10. Gets hit twice and falls at the 15. Ian Yates makes the tackle. 42-yard kick. And Auburn will take over there, leading by 24. 5.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Hey fans, now's your chance to enter the Toyota Tundra Double Cab You Pick 'em football contest. Just go online at jpsports.com, click on the Toyota banner to register and pick the winners. Weekly prizes will be given to the participant with the highest point total at season's end. A randomly picked grand prize winner to be revealed on December 8th will receive a new 2004 Toyota Tundra 4-door decap truck. The Toyota You Pick 'em football contest. Entrants must be 18 years of age or older and legal residents of the states of Florida, Alabama, Georgia, North Carolina, or South Carolina. Pass caught at the 34 by Cooper Wallace, the sophomore from Nashville, Tennessee, playing in front of his home folks. Ohanajay makes the tackle. Gain of 20 on the play. And another Vanderbilt player slow to get up. It looks like Ohanajay, the man who made the tackle.
Well, you said that Auburn's playing with a little bit more swagger. And you see the swagger in Jason Campbell. Look at this. Confidence in the pocket. Good delivery. That's a perfect spiral right over top of the defender. Wallace comes down with it. Big hit right there. Again, run him just on a go pattern. As soon as he clears the linebacker, throw it to him. He's in the seam. Ohanajay gives a good stick right there, but he, giving away a lot of weight there. Wallace is about 252.
Well, he just got his bell rung a little bit. Let's hope that's all it is. Nice favoring that side. We'll let Buzz check on that for us. Campbell today, 11 of 17, 214 yards and a couple of touchdowns.
Well, Buzz is going to be in a sweat going from sideline to sideline.
What do you mean Buzz is in a sweat when he wakes up? Darnell Williams hops over the 40 to the 41-yard line. Chris Booker makes the tackle for Vanderbilt along. It's an interesting scheme that Auburn has now. I mean, because when it clicks, this can be awesome. You can run, you can pass, you can roll out, you can draw, you can screen.
Absolutely.
But when it doesn't work, it's ugly.
Oh, it is. And it has been ugly for the last 2 weeks. I said this may be the best 0-2 team in football, and they're showing it today. But let me tell you, a couple things are happening right now. The big men on Auburn are wearing them down. That front line, they're blowing off the line right now. They've got a little bit more swagger all of a sudden. Williams has been the one that's given them that swagger because he comes back in that huddle and says, way to go, big O-line.
For the best deals on cars, trucks, and SUVs, visit your local Toyota dealer today. Williams, 17 carries, 61 yards. The play fake to Campbell has room to the right to run across midfield and stumbles at the 45. And that'll be about 3 yards shy of the first down. And Campbell looks like he comes up a little gimpy.
Well, you know what he did? He almost tried to like slide, and his feet didn't go out from underneath him when he tried to slide. He was going to come in here. Watch this. He's going to circle around. Now watch him when he starts to slide. His feet get stuck in the sod right there. You see him, and he just actually falls right back. He may have sprained an ankle.
Cadillac, he stumbles, but where they're going to mark it will be very close to a first down. They'll probably move the chains, and they will. There is Josh Sullivan, the freshman from Little Rock, Arkansas. He is the clear number 2 quarterback on this team.
See, Campbell's definitely limping, but he's a tough kid. I really liked him when we've had our talks with him, and that he's a great kid to talk with, very animated, wants to do well. When I saw him down before the game, I started talking with him, and he said, man, I got to tighten up. I said, you taking much pressure? I said, oh, yeah.
Flag down, a couple of flags down, as Auburn has now rushed the ball 12 consecutive times. So that'll be against Auburn.
And, you know, we talk about the difference in this, and the score is obviously very different. But I want to tell you, watching film last week and watching film this week, incredible difference. What did we say they were averaging? What, 2.1 yards was it per rush, or 1.2 yards per rush? They've come out. They've established a running game. You see an offensive line that's taking control. You see a quarterback.
Participation for the offense. 12 men on the field. Penalty is 15 yards from the previous spot. Repeat of the first down.
But just to finish the thought, I see a quarterback that's got that little swagger, as you say, back. He's starting to do things right. Now they need to build on it.
So it'll be 1st and 25 after the penalty. That's Mix in motion. Here's the handoff to Cadillac Williams. Cadillac being pursued. He gets a couple on the play. Hurdley Harrison on the tackle for the Commodores. Dave, let me just give you some of these numbers. It won't be like this for long. It won't be like this after today, that's for sure. Auburn's offense was ranked 112th nationally. Now remember, 117 teams play Division I. They were 115th in rushing yards per game at 41.5. They were 96th in passing yards per game. They were 116th in total offense out of 117 teams that play Division I football. That goes incomplete. It'll be 3rd down, looking for Aroma Shadu, but those numbers won't be there the rest of the season. That'll be forgotten, but it is so amazing and perplexing and puzzling and all those words you want to throw out there that this team, through 2 weeks, put up those kind of numbers.
Well, one thing I think has really changed is Cadillac Williams. You know, he came in, had that big injury last year. He's out all year long. He comes in preseason. Now, you can run your plays and everything, but there's nothing like game action to know that you're better. And I think he knows he's better.
Another flag down as Silas Daniels gets over midfield, well shy of the first down. First down markers at the Vanderbilt 32, and they are just over the midfield stripe. False start on 3rd and 21, and I have a feeling Vanderbilt will more than likely decline that penalty.
Foul is against the offense. Only 6 on the line of scrimmage. That foul is declined. 4th down.
For all you young SEC fans, SECkids.com is the place to be on the internet. You can learn about your favorite schools and athletes, and more importantly, play some really cool games. SECkids.com, the new sports website for kids from the SEC. Bliss. High kick. Fair catch called for by Ronald Hatcher. There's a flag down at the 18, and we'll see what that's all about. A busy few moments for Doyle Jackson, our referee. That is just what Vanderbilt did not need, and that's to be backed up closer to the goal line.
Foul is an illegal block in the back by the returning team during the kick. Penalty is 10 yards from the end of the kick, followed by first down.
Fans, jpsports.com has the coverage you want. No one knows the SEC like JP Sports, and we bring the information to you online. Tune in each week for previews of upcoming games, broadcast information, and many other exciting features. jpsports.com, brought to you by the Rechargeable Battery Recycling Corporation. 1st and 10 from the 13. Cutler fires. Brought by Clark Lee, the fullback. And that'll take it to the 24-yard line. That'll be a first down. Move the chains. Dave, interesting development this week. It's the best way I can put it here at Vanderbilt. Chancellor Gordon Gee of Vanderbilt decided to do away with the athletic department in a sense that there won't be a term athletic department, moving it all underneath the university umbrella. I'd like to kind of get your thoughts on what that means to the university. Pass is caught by Nick Getter, first of all, out over the 31. What it means to the athletic program, to the coaches, and what it means down the road for guys like Bobby Johnson.
Well, we talked with him yesterday, and he said, I really don't have any comment now because nobody seems to know where it's all going to settle down. The only thing that I would question is the timing of it. Why not wait till January? I mean, you do it in January if you really want to do it. But Bobby Johnson did say, he said, I think in the end, I think it's all going to wash out. I think it's going to be good.
They've, I guess the best way to do it is taken away the only person that really was affected by this. Clark Lee tackle. I don't know if he got the first down or not. TJ Jackson makes the stop for Auburn, but athletic director Todd Turner, who's a good friend of all of us, has been offered another job as a vice chancellor, but that position of athletic director has been removed. Everybody else at this point, as far as we know, is keeping their jobs. They will just report. There will just be another ladder, another person you will report to. And it's interesting. I'm waiting for this to unfold because it's hard to make any kind of comment about it until you see how it evolves. I don't think he got it.
Oh, no. He got stuck right in the hole.
Dontarius Thomas, the senior out of Perry, Georgia, saw the seam and stepped right in it.
Boy, that's what I want. If I've got a middle linebacker, I want one like Dontarius Thomas, number 54. When you stick him, he goes down. Watch him slide to the hole. He stays square. Now watch him step up. Look at that, shoulder to shoulder, no give. Wraps him up, drives him down, holds him short. Man, I think Tommy Tuberville was right when he said that was our greatest recruiting class.
Short by a yard. That'll bring up fourth down. Earlier Tommy Tuberville said that he had to recruit different athletes. Two of them are on his team already. And that was Thomas and Dansby. But he said, it was their decision. He presented them the facts and wasn't going to keep them from going to the NFL if that's what they wanted to do. But he said the best thing about it was those two guys wanted to come back and be a part of Auburn football. And that will probably do it for the third quarter as time is expiring. But a good quarter for the Auburn Tigers. They led 17-0 at halftime. Their lead now 31-7. We'll come back for fourth quarter football in Nashville. Stay with us on JP Sports. Move to the fourth quarter as Vanderbilt looks at a 4th down and 1 at their own 33-yard line. Quante Doster in the football game. Single setback, a couple of wide receivers. Jay Cutler on a quarterback sneak, and I don't know.
Boy, I don't think he made it. I want to tell you, if he did, he's going to get a great mark.
Well, if he gets to the 39 or the 34, it'll be a first down.
Oh, man, they are marking it way out at the 30. Oh, they're moving the chains already. They must have seen something that I didn't see. You see the line right there, they're marking the football, but I didn't see that push. Man, you're going into the strength of Auburn. You stuff the center. Look at the two backers right in there. There's Williams in there just driving them back. I didn't see him make any yard. Got a good mark, though.
First down and 10. Here's Doster trying to find some room today. Hadn't had much of it at all, and well, that gap closes in a hurry. Carlos Dansby was faked out early in this football game by Doster. Since then, he has been all over number one. Let's take a look at our accurate third quarter stats, Dave, and it has been dominated by the Auburn Tigers. Look at the time of possession as well as the total yards.
Well, the rushing yards, too. Vanderbilt had a good rushing game. They use that option. They have not, and I've seen that option in the last 2 games, but it's not been there today. When they did run it, they had a little bit of success, but haven't run it enough.
I think the speed of this Auburn defense has been just too tough, and Brandon Smith can attest to that. Trying a little reverse to the wide receiver. Zowling on the tackle along with Reggie Torbor.
Well, the only time you're able to run a reverse is when you get your defensive lineman making mistakes. And Torbor, number 82, does not. You see him, he's going to stand right in there, turn it back inside. He's got backside containment, plays it as well as you can play it.
As you like to say, good assignment football right there.
Absolutely. You got to play your keys. You got to play your assignments first, then you play your keys. Where's the ball? What's the offense doing? That'll take you to where the ball's going.
Cutler stands in the pocket, fires, incomplete, looking for McKenzie. And that will bring up a fourth down. And the Auburn defense has held again. It'll be the 8th punt today for Aptin Aronimish. The announcers for this game are selected and compensated by Jefferson Pilot Sports. This broadcast is a copyright presentation. Any use of this broadcast without the express permission of the Southeastern Conference and Jefferson Pilot Sports is prohibited. Dave Neal along with Dave Rowe and Dave Baker. Glad you could join us.
Call that a wave of days?
Dave Wave. Aronimish punt sails to the 22. Trey Smith with some nifty footwork. Trey Smith trying to get to the open field. Tackled from behind. Oh, that was close to going the distance. 41-yard punt, a 33-yard return, and Ben Koger saved a touchdown. 31-7 here in the fourth quarter. Auburn in charge. 31-7. Auburn over Vanderbilt, and the Tigers have gone to a new quarterback, and Trey Smith gets the handoff. Josh Sullivan, a freshman from Little Rock, Arkansas, 6'2", 200-pounder. Jason Campbell, 12 of 19, 220 yards, a couple of TDs. Good afternoon for Jason today. And, you know, talking to the coaches at Auburn, they really wanted to get Josh Sullivan some snaps.
Well, it's a good time, too, with Jason Campbell getting that little nick in that last series. A sprained ankle or something. Get him out of there.
Trey Smith stopped at the 40-yard line by Robert Dinwiddie.
Well, really important for Vanderbilt now not to quit.
Let's check in with Buzz again.
Dave, Jason Campbell is okay. It's interesting, though. The biggest problem he had on that play was his inability to slide. And, of course, Sullivan is a relief pitcher on the baseball team, and now he comes in to relieve the starter who can't slide. But Campbell's okay.
Always putting the Dave Buzz Baker twist on it. Pass batted down by Jovan Hay, the sophomore from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Jovan, it's a big game today. He's got 9 tackles.
Yeah, just gets his hands right up there. It's like kind of throwing through the forest. You can see Sullivan doesn't look him off. He's standing right in front of him. Good eye coordination there. Nice play. And you know, it's amazing. He's got 2 more years at least here. And most of these players, they don't have many seniors. I don't know of any upperclassmen that they really do have.
Big hit from Dominic Morris. Jarris McIntyre falls back a few yards. And that'll do it for the Auburn drive. They're about 3 yards shy of the first down marker. Josh Sullivan completes a pass, though. You know, his dad's probably a happy man right now. His dad, Jerry, played football at the University of Arkansas back in the mid-'70s.
That's a surprise if that score holds up. But that was still in the 4th quarter, I think. But that will be the surprise.
Arkansas over Texas. Benji Walker. There's the update. 10-point game in the 4th quarter. Speaking of adjusting quarterbacks, Benji Walker, the 5th-year senior, steps in to play for Vanderbilt. His first pass is picked off. Inside the 35, down to the 32-yard line. And just like that, Auburn gets the football back. Kevin Hobbs picks up the interception.
Dave, when you play defense, they teach defensive backs, don't go for the tackle, go for the interception. This is exactly what Hobbs does. He plays the eyes, and look at him work in there. He's got as much right to that football as anybody, and does a great job of getting good position, goes up for the ball, doesn't interfere with the receiver, comes away with a game ball over that. You take that one home.
So Sullivan gets another crack at it. Brandon Jacobs also gets another crack at it. He had a few carries in the opening half. Here's Brandon Jacobs to the 30-yard line. The big bulldozer of a tailback.
He does run strong. He's got those big legs. He turns it. He's wearing high tops. I was looking at those shoes there earlier. Look almost like high tops. It's kind of like funny kind of running.
Jacobs, 7 carries, 22 yards today. Sullivan's throw. Nice arm. Good pass. Courtney Taylor on the reception. Courtney Taylor came into this game, Dave, with 12 receptions after the first 2 games. That's the most by any Auburn receiver in the opening 2 games of a season ever.
I can tell you why he caught him. Look at the concentration. The ball's away from him. Good look in there. Get the foot down. Nice coordination with your quarterback. That'll build your confidence.
Pass batted in the air. Trey Holloway might have had a chance on it, but a block by Jeremy Engel knocked him to the ground, but the ball was batted up in the air by Libner Taluska. Boy, I bet Trey Holloway was looking, thinking, I got it, and boom, somebody cuts his legs out from him.
Boy, that's a lineman's dream. Intercept the ball. Give me 3 blockers on the right, 3 on the left.
Sullivan gets drilled as he lets it go. Inside the 10, or right at the 10, goes Courtney Taylor. And Sullivan's got a nice arm. He likes that out pattern.
Well, big pressure right here. But look at the concentration. You're looking downfield. You want to learn how to play quarterback? Concentrate like that. It's a good, well-thrown ball, good out pattern. That's 2 in a row. He completes. Nice control of football. I was really surprised. He's just a freshman, hanging back in that pocket, looking down there and having confidence.
Brandon Jacobs down to the 6-yard line. That'll be a first down. Pat Bruner, who played a lot last year for Vanderbilt, makes the tackle. Bud, what do you got?
Dave, another learning situation. Tommy Tuberville trying to give his guys as much experience as possible. They've gone with kind of like this no huddle, or the old Sam Weiss sugar huddle that he had with the Bengals, just trying something different and having it ready to go in the arsenal.
Brandon Jacobs.
Boy, one person's not going to bring him down. That's like hitting the front of a truck. Look at this. Hitting the backfield. He just keeps on going. I wouldn't do anything fancy. I just keep on giving the ball to him. He's a force in there. He's got great strength in that legs. He looks a lot different running back compared to Carnell Williams or Ronnie Brown. But strength.
7th play of the drive coming up. 2nd down. Sullivan hit at the 4-yard line. Gets twisted up there. Andrew Pace led the charge for Vanderbilt. And that'll bring up a 3rd down and goal.
This is just to come out here and look for little pass options. Not there, put the ball away. The only thing I would criticize is he flipped the ball to his left hand. You want to keep that on the outside arm, but he looks in control. He's just a freshman. He's getting a good chance to get in here, get some playing time. And the one thing you're looking for is that huddle control. How does he manage these other players?
Sullivan down to the goal line. Did he get in? They'll say no. He stopped about a yard shy. Andrew Pace made the tackle. And that'll bring up 4th. And goal from the 1.
And David's designed all the way. Quarterback just follows his blockers. In this case, he's following number 27, Brandon Jacob. He does come down early. Look at this. Watch this. When his knees down, where's the ball? Right there. Just short.
Timeout taken on the field by Vanderbilt. 8:38 to go. Back after this. Fourth and goal for the Auburn Tigers. Jacobs in motion. Handoff Trey Smith. He skies into the end zone for an Auburn touchdown. Man, did he get up in the air.
There was nobody up where he was. Watch the height he gets. Right here, he follows his fullback. Look how high he gets. Man, he is way up there. He had to be 6 feet off the ground. Look at this. Right there. He was up there.
Well, he's a big-time snowboarder. He catches a lot of air when he snowboards. He caught some air right there. That is the 3rd touchdown by the Auburn running game today. Flags are down. Williams has a touchdown. Brown has a touchdown. And now Smith has a touchdown. Movement against the Auburn offense.
Tommy Tuberville says, how many men were on the line of scrimmage?
The foul was for the offense only having 6 on the line.
Goodness gracious.
Then it will be 5 yards from the previous spot.
I told you I could read Tommy Tuberville's lips. How many people were on the line of scrimmage?
We've heard that a lot today.
Well, on that play, it's natural to try to get a curve because you're worried about those outside players. So you get back, you have to be within a yard of the ball.
So the point after is now a 25-yard field goal. And John Vaughn able to complete it successfully. 8:34 to go. We'll step aside. Auburn has opened up their lead, 38-7. Today's game is brought to you in part by Hummer. Philip Yost to kick it off for the Auburn Tigers. And with the wind at his back, it'll sail into the end zone, and Hatcher will take a knee. But Dave, Auburn's rushing game, I don't want to officially say it's back, but it showed signs today.
So different from what I saw in last week's film. They're controlling the football. They've got everybody running. Williams has run, Brown's run, Jacobs has run, and even Trey Smith scored a touchdown. The result, look at that, 161 yards rushing, good average, 3 touchdowns. That's what we expected to see in weeks 1 and 2.
They have doubled their output today, combined with their first 2 games, as Stephen Bright checks in as the new quarterback for the Commodores. This is a guy that the Vanderbilt coaches really wanted to get some snaps. He got some snaps last week against Tennessee Chattanooga and really looked pretty good. 4-5, 38 yards, a touchdown. And he's a guy for the future for them. Benji Walker is a 5th-year senior, been around, and a good guy in a quick change situation to have. But I think down the road, they really like this Stephen Bright. 6'4", 220 out of Greer, South Carolina. Here's Norval McKenzie to the 33-yard line. Sears makes the tackle.
Where Vanderbilt got in trouble, Dave, was early in that first half. They had a couple opportunities where they could have capitalized and they came away with no points. Then they were not able to move the chains. They went about 4 or 5 series where they went 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, turned the ball over, gave a couple mistakes, and Auburn has capitalized on them. And they turned them into touchdowns.
Here's Bright on the option. Picks up about 8 on the play. Rashard Gilliard makes the tackle for the Tigers. There's Jay Cutler, 121 yards today. Put the ball on the ground quite a bit. I mean, the whole Vanderbilt team did. Quante Doster as well, and turnovers and really some penalties at inopportune times. Set this team back and put them behind the 8 ball.
Certainly did. Boy, and a lot of Auburn fans. There's a lot of orange in this stadium. They came to see a game, and I think they've been pleased.
Time for our Hummer scoreboard. Still in the fourth quarter, Arkansas over Texas, 38-28. Ohio State, top of the Wolfpack, a close one. Pittsburgh over Ball State. UNLV. Wow, John Robinson getting it done with the Running Rebels. And Wake Forest falls by 6. Iowa over Iowa State, 33-7. Here it's 38-7. Pass completed at about the 48-yard line. Not much of a game. Jason Burns makes the catch. Kevin Hobbs on the tackle.
What you're looking for in this situation is you're looking for your defense to keep working hard. Everybody knowing assignments. On offense, you're trying to get young people in there, get game experience in case somebody gets hurt. You get a quick change, get that player some experience so he doesn't go in there just ice cold.
Stephen Bright turns the corner to the 47. That'll bring up a 3rd down. Rashard Gilliard, a little slow to get up. He'll hobble over to that bench.
I want to see Josh Sullivan throw the football. He threw those 2 outs, did a real nice job. It's 3rd down and 6. Excuse me, Stephen Bright. I'm sorry. Did I say? I'm thinking about Josh Sullivan because I wanted to say something about him, but it is Stephen Bright. Excuse me.
On 3rd and 4. Bright will throw and gets hit in the process. Ball's incomplete.
This is fun for defense. I know it's not fun for offense, but it's fun for defense. You just come off the football. You're just pouring around there. Zoll gets in there, gets good pressure, good coverage there. This is the fun time. It's not fun if you're a quarterback getting a chance to play because you're feeling that pressure, but good coverage downfield. Real nice reaction to the football.
And once again, Vanderbilt short a man on the punt team. The play clock to 9. I don't want to be the late addition.
No.
Not for the second time. Punt nearly blocked. It'll sail into the end zone. A 46-yard kick. Auburn leads big in Nashville. Today's SEC game is brought to you in part by Acura. (38-7) our score. 4:45 to go in the fourth quarter. Brandon Jacobs carries the football for the Auburn Tigers.
And Dave, you know, for Tommy Tuberville, his offensive line, we talked about the running backs and getting their yards, but you got to give credit up front. I mean, this is an offensive line that had 13 sacks coming into this game. They've got none today. They had the worst rushing average. You mentioned it and showed it. And now all of a sudden they're able to run the football, establish the run, get some yardage, get productive, and get touchdowns. So a lot of credit goes to those big guys up front. They did a good job today.
Courtney Denson on the carry for the Auburn Tigers in at running back, although he's listed as a backup quarterback. And congratulations to Houston Nutt and the Arkansas Razorbacks. They knock off Texas, the 6th-ranked team in America. Not many folks gave the Razorbacks much of a chance in that one, but they certainly came to play in that long-time historical rivalry. Boy, Sullivan's got a nice arm on him, Dave.
Wow, that was an excellent pass. He had pressure from his left side. He sees the pressure. He throws a strike in there. Nice pressure here from the defense. They pick it up. And watch this good form. Step forward. Get a little bit of movement on the back and gets hit down there. But golly, he's throwing the ball well. Now I know what they see in him. Ooh.
Tied up with a minute to go, NC State and Ohio State. Here's Jacobs trying to get the corner. Brandon Jacobs tackled at the 46-yard line by Ben Koger. The big man, Brandon Jacobs, gains 21 on the play.
You say tackle, I think this is a ride. Watch how far. 5 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards. He was hanging on for all he had. He wasn't slowing down Jacobs. Nice average, 4.2. That's good. And you know what? He runs with strength. They're going to use a lot more of him. When he gets hit, he falls forward. He's got great leg strength, makes good cuts. I think he's really going to fill in well for them in the fullback spot.
I think Ben Koger has seen just about enough of number 27 in white. Koger, the safety, has had to butt heads a few times with Brandon Jacobs today. Looks like Brandon getting a little winded in his most extensive work as a running back since his junior college days at Coffeyville Junior College. And Sullivan will call a timeout. We'll return right after this. Under 3 minutes to go in this one. Auburn 38, Vanderbilt 7. The Auburn Tiger offense has found some life today. Josh Sullivan, redshirt freshman, quarterback from Little Rock, Arkansas. I'm sure he'll hear from some of his buddies about that big Razorback win, and certainly his dad, who played at Arkansas in the mid-'70s, will probably have a chat with him. Here's Brandon Jacobs, though. Jacobs inside the 30, run out of bounds at the 22-yard line. A gain of 21.
When you don't think of someone like Jacobs being the size he is at 250 being nifty, this is a nifty run. Look at this little change of direction right here. Bang, get back to the outside, run through another missed tackle, get that stiff arm out there. Man, shades of Rudy from a few years ago, perhaps.
Jacobs 13 of 70 now, 13 carries, 70 yards. He's the third Auburn running back over 50 yards today. Here's Sullivan, he'll throw it. Looking for his fullback, Jake Slaughter. He's run out of bounds inside the 10-yard line down to the 9, a gain of 13, and that'll set up a 1st and goal.
Okay, if you're evaluating Josh Sullivan, he's thrown the out pattern twice nicely. He's run the naked boot to get yardage. He put his head down. He was fearless. That time on a roll, he makes a perfect strike. That young man's doing nothing but good. Josh Sullivan.
Sullivan now 5 of 7 for 42 yards. And Jacobs gets tripped up. Matt Clay steps in there to stop the big tailback. Our Napa Auto Care Center player of the game, players I should say, Jarris McIntyre with a couple of touchdown catches, big plays.
That first touchdown by McIntyre, that was an excellent one. Broke tackles. Then he comes again, breaks another tackle. Boy, he's had a great day. And Otis Washington, I can say, bunch of tackles.
That'll be Trey Smith in for the touchdown, his second touchdown today. And Auburn going up against a very tired and depleted Vanderbilt defense right now, making it look rather easy.
Yeah, you see you lose that half step when you get tired. You don't fight off those blocks as well. And the end result is touchdowns against you, especially when you're on defense. You've got to be able to keep that stamina. You wear down, you just got to play through it or get somebody else to replace you that can.
That makes it 45-7. 1:49 to go in Nashville. The Auburn Tigers are looking impressive, and their 4 running backs have been impressive today.
SEC football has been brought to you by Napa Auto Care Centers, by Pizza Hut, by Bell South, by BC Powder, and by Sonic Drive-Ins.
Clear, beautiful day in Nashville, Tennessee. And it's a really beautiful day if you're an Auburn Tiger football fan, because it looks like you found some offense. Let's check in with Buzz one more time today. Buzz?
That'll definitely help the pain go away, Dave. As you know, Tommy Tuberville went through 2 neck surgeries during the summer to relieve some pain and some pressure, but it's probably nothing like the pain he's been feeling the last couple of weeks or so. The heat still bothers him. He's moving around slowly but surely, but certainly a day like this will help. Speaking of that, Dan Murphy, who went to the hospital, the Vanderbilt Medical Center, earlier in the first half after a big hit. Again, it's a severe concussion. The last report we got was that he has use of his extremities, and that is good news.
That is outstanding news. He took a real big shot from Brandon Jacobs, and it did not look pretty. Let's hope that he makes a quick and speedy recovery. Well, that last scoring drive was so nice, we decided to name it the Jiffy Lube Well-Oiled Machine Scoring Drive. You thought I was going to say it was so nice we decided to name it twice. Well, the Jiffy Lube Scoring Drive went 9 plays, 80 yards, 306. Trey Smith capped it off with a 10-yard run, but it was really Brandon Jacobs' drive. A couple of big runs over 20 yards for the junior college transfer. Handoff gets a couple of yards. And Dave, where does Auburn go from here? I mean, is this one of those things you can really hang your hat on and say we're back, or is it still the jury's still out on this club?
Well, I think the jury's still out a little bit, but I think that they came out and they established and did what they had to do. But we talked about in the beginning of the game, their national title hopes are dashed. Those are over. But the SEC started today, and they needed to focus on this game. And whatever Tommy Tuberville and his staff said to him, they focused on this game. This was hard hitting. Everything that they wanted, they got out of this football game.
Well, up next for the Auburn Tigers is a week off, and then they face Western Kentucky at home, and then Tennessee at home. And I got to think that the next 2 weeks, actually the next 3 weeks, because they should really handle Western Kentucky. Yeah. I mean, let's be honest about it.
Sure.
I think the next 3 weeks are going to be a lot of fun. I think guys will enjoy being Auburn football players again, because I don't think the last 2 weeks they've enjoyed it.
No, they haven't enjoyed it. But, you know, on defense, they got what they wanted, too, because they came out, they weren't getting pressure on the quarterback. Today, they smothered Jay Cutler.
Buzz, you've got more on Dan Murphy for us?
Yeah, he's just been released from the hospital. It's a severe concussion. Everything else is all right. I'm told he's back here on the field, in the locker room, taking a shower, so that is good news.
Absolutely. We can breathe a little easier today. For Vanderbilt, Dave, they looked pretty good the first 2 weeks, and now they're a little sluggish. Came out and hurt themselves a little bit. Even though they may have taken a step back, How do you feel about this club?
Well, I think they were under a lot of pressure here when they didn't get there, when they didn't score in the beginning of the game. In the film that I watched, they were able to run the football down the line, the options and things like that. Today, they just weren't able to move the chains and get any offense going.
Tommy Tuberville will be a happy man to walk across the field. Tigers' 12th straight win over the Commodores, but it's their first win of the 2003 season. And how about the Auburn offense? 483 yards of total offense. That makes those folks in the orange quite happy. And I'm sure there's a lot of folks in the state of Alabama right now that are happy as well to see that there is some hope.
Yeah, there's some life in Auburn. There's some life in them. They played well. They played hard, and it was led by that man, Jason Campbell. He was under a lot of pressure.
Let's go down and check in with Dave Baker, who's with Tommy Tuberville.
Tommy, I know you're hoping this is the start of something big.
Well, it's good to get a good start, in the conference, especially on the road. It's tough to win in this conference on the road, but our players have been, talked about a little bit and ridiculed, and this makes up for a little bit of it. We still got a long ways to go, but we're a better football team today, and now we got a week off to get a few people healed and get ready for the next game.
Everybody's talked about that stable of running backs. You were able to get them all some quality reps today, and they looked like they were running like their old selves.
Yeah, we played everybody on the bench, and it was good to get Josh Sullivan in the game. Brandon Jacobs, a lot of playing time. But, it's going to take all of them through this long season, and it looked like we got a little bit better running the ball, but we still got a lot of things to do to get where we want to be.
I know that week off will allow you to get some people healed up, but boy, it comes at a time when it looks like you finally got momentum going the right way.
Well, it does, but it's probably a good time because some things we need to work on a little bit more before we get back into conference play. We've got a non-conference games in 2 weeks, and then we come back and play Tennessee. So we got our hands full, but we're a pretty good football team, and we're starting to show it.
When we talked earlier in the week, you said you needed guys to make plays instead of guys waiting for plays to happen, and Carlos was a guy that looked like he made some plays today.
Oh, there wasn't any doubt. Carlos, was around the football. All the running backs ran hard. We finally blocked a little bit better. Jason stood in the pocket and getting outside the pocket, like he did the first two games. Our kicking game was good. It was just a good day overall. Again, we've still got a lot of conference games to go, but, this is a great start.
Makes a pain in the neck feel awfully better, doesn't it?
Makes it feel a lot better.
Thanks, Tommy. Congratulations. Back up to you, David.
All right, Buzz. Good work down there on